Hello, viewers. Welcome to tonight's episode of Natty 1.
All two of you.
All two of you.
It's one now because I'm here.
Oh, yeah, you're here.
It's really Natty 1 now.
And what would be funny is because Raph watches too. If he was here, no one would watch this. You'd be like, we were there.
Bailey watches it.
Yes, tonight. this is not an advertiser plug. This is not a bit. I am your DM for tonight's shit show.
Why are you our DM?
Because Nick and Micah are off having a belated honeymoon in Bali.
Aww.
Which means I'm also looking after their dog and their baby.
Is that why, is your payment you get to be DM, that like look after the kid and the dog?
So which one's the dog and which one's the baby, Jason?
No idea.
Right.
Both of them are little bitches.
And now we'll start, so welcome to Natty 1.
No, that's the start.
So they'd be mongrels, wouldn't they?
That's right. Tonight we are not in Shayak. We are in the world of Morella, which is actually a home game world that I started with three of our players. Pete,
from tonight anyway.
Yeah, Pete, Bailey and Matt have played in this world before. Matt actually had quite a hand in the entire kind of overarching backstory of the world because he pretty much played the king that dominated the entire world. So
yeah,
you can blame him.
To everyone's surprise.
How the history happened.
Yeah, so I did something fun in the start. I ran a little mini game, which was like a war between four cities.
It was risk-esque.
It was risk-esque. A little bit like the Game of Thrones board game as well.
Very different.
And basically we had Bailey playing the the Goliath.
Is there an oven on? Yes.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I hear in the street.
It actually won't because it's the.
I just realised that.
That's all right. Hold on. Yeah, that's a lot of ambient noise. Oh well, we'll deal.
Why won't it turn off?
It's a fan force coming, so
Cooling down.
It'll cool down. Anyway, that ticking in the background, you'll just have to get over it.
That's the countdown to the.
Put music on and it might drown it out.
It's true. I don't want to put the music on too early.
So Bailey played the Goliath.
Yeah. Anyway, as we're saying, Bailey played the Goliath army, who got absolutely obliterated really early.
Yeah.
Pete played the army of Leohonis, the elves, who retreated back to their homeland, while the Kothra people, the orcs, slaughtered all of the Goliath and basically wiped them off the planet. So you won't be seeing any giant races in this world pretty much ever again. Meanwhile, Matt, being the humans from Innistralis, which is where our story begins.
They were invaders.
They basically
They basically Britain to the world.
They Britaned Morella completely and took
But they let the Kothra do all the muscle work.
Yeah, basically the Kothra were coming in, they just came in behind them and took everything as the Kothra left it in their wake. And now the orcs and the Kothra, they live in the Silencia castle.
Kind of like Esau.
But yeah, and big welcome to a fan of our channel. At least, well, he watches it, I don't know if he's a fan. But also a good friend of mine.
If he watches it, he's probably not.
So big welcome guys to Phil.
Hey. Thank you.
Dr. Phil?
Yeah. Sure.
Maybe one day.
No. Philip.
Flip.
Dr. Philip. Yeah, so
It's funny because you all think that these are original.
No, we don't.
Nothing
We've
on
got
this.
a couple of friends.
Nothing on this channel is original.
Except for Pam.
Not even us.
Not even us. I'm the third generation me.
Pam Schmigel is definitely.
Pam Schmigel.
Definitely original.
Isn't your judge's name Rob?
Yeah.
You are original.
You never cease to surprise me. Actually, you always surprise me. But yeah, so if you guys, anime like Attack on Titan, Pokemon, those kind of things, then you probably don't know Phil anyway, but he's into that kind of stuff, so you have something in common. But he's
into Pokemon. Yes.
he's into anime.
Just like most of the people.
Yeah, Phil and I go to uni
So
together.
all of my characters are very predictable.
Yes, he's anime protagonist exactly.
Yeah, they're all sorry.
Naruto.
So we also don't really have a sponsor.
Is that Naruto's dad?
Yeah, we actually don't have a sponsor bit because I'm going to be doing all of the bits today.
And Matt refused.
So on me, and I need time to prepare.
But
Jason does it all off the
provided we do
I'm
get
professional.
provided we do actually get into and through this one shot, you will see some Dungeon Caster terrain,
Is that what this is?
which is absolutely amazing as always. Big shout out to Dungeon Caster, they're fantastic. They are. And I just want to make a little bit of an apology. Studying a master's degree and looking after kids for the last week, some of tonight's models may not be painted, so F's in the chat for...
Have you ever painted a model?
Was that like a humble
Yeah, I used to play
master's degree?
Yeah. Phil's doing it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yours is a master's degree in model painting, though, so
Yeah.
I'm really surprised
It's
that you
true.
haven't been able to,
Do you actually
to find the time. Like,
Do you model paint?
I used to play Warhammer 40k.
Oh.
My first army was Tyranids, so I did a lot of model painting.
With Felix, yeah.
Yeah.
those aren't easy to paint.
No, and I didn't do well.
So that's why
actually
they're
why.
not painted.
And
Jason.
that's
All I play is ghosts now.
No. And that's why we outsource to
To paint Goblin Studios. Goblin Paint Studios. Is it Goblin Paint Studios or Paint Goblin Studios?
I thought they were the Gobby Boys.
The Gobby Boys, that's what we call them. Now, ironically, I'm that bad at painting that this wasn't a ghost. I somehow managed to get rid of the resin. So there we go.
Really?
No. Anyway, let's get into it. Bailey, as usual, roll that intro.
For a second, I thought you wanted me to like introduce something. I was like, what the frick? I don't know what I'm
Yeah,
doing.
the intro.
Let's try that. And we're back.
Where did we go?
Who ate? Was it you?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch, how dare I eat after coming straight home from a 10-hour day?
I know, right?
I ate as well.
So
Yeah, but you
Jason,
didn't
he
cook in
also
the
had
oven.
10
Except
dinner.
I set up most of
I did have chicken tenders.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
did.
Maybe you should have thought of us before you.
It's true.
Do you know whose rations are going to disappear first?
Yeah, you won't like what happened with that.
Right, it's a one shot. You're not going to have long enough to eat rations.
Yeah,
Well,
we're
actually, knowing
It's
you
actually
guys,
1 hour of in-game time.
knowing you guys would surprise me.
I'm
Alright.
going to attack the first person I see.
I'm going to roll to hide.
Technically, that's most likely to be you in a mirror.
I'm gonna
And I don't mean,
Did I
and by a
stutter?
mirror, I don't mean Sarah's original character from another
You
campaign.
talking to me?
I'll start it.
Let's get into it. Innistralis, a familiar city to all of you who frequent the main island that floats just a few nautical miles off Marilla's northern coastline.
Yeah.
Yeah. 550 years after the Great War, 5 or so centuries after what is commonly deemed by Morella's original inhabitants as the occupation. Though in the Empire's books it reads Liberatus, which means the freeing. Each of you, in your own way, have become renowned in certain circles as famous, or in some cases, infamous. And so perhaps, your skills as a fearsome warrior have earned you favour with the Empire, or your devotion to serving as a royal guard. Perhaps you're part of some noble order of clerics, whom, despite the Empire's aversion to historical Morellan beliefs of gods and ancient beings, the Empire cannot deny your clear affinity with the magic, and thus you have your uses. Whether an infamous creature with a willingness to get blood on your hands for the right price, of course, or a musician whose powerful connection to the magic cannot be overlooked, even if it can't be explained. Each of you have in some way earned favour with the Empire throughout your lives here within the kingdom of Innistralis. Now, I'm going to do a little intro for each character.
Oh no.
Sorry?
Do you know your intro?
Cade.
He hasn't given me anything and he knows I don't like to.
Cade, you awake early, earlier than your normal routine. There's a knock at the door to the room that has been made for you within the Innistralan temple of the 4 element figureheads. Thank you. It's our Foley artist Bailey, rather. The temple is home to many monks and worshippers of Leotian, Krallarine, Narathi, and of course Pleurusus, the war god, the figurehead of fire and the one to whom you've devoted your life in service of. It's been a long time since the Temple of the 4 Elements has been honoured by receiving a cleric, let alone a cleric to one of the figureheads, the Goldbane cleric yourself, Cade Phantomtooth. It's no surprise then that the young female monk that stands in the doorway as you open it has a look of awe, and your acute senses get the smell of a slight sense of the pheromones of immediate fear as well. The young girl is wearing a silvery blue robes that distinguish her as a first-year acolyte of the temple aligned with the goddess of air. She waits awkwardly. There's no real formalities in the temple for, waiting to speak or anything in front of you, but it seems like for some reason she's waiting for permission.
Well, how may I help you?
You've been summoned by the crown. Apparently, your existence here has been known to them, and they have a matter of grave urgency. A matter involving some dark, evil magic that His Majesty himself, the King of Innistralis, has requested the aid of the great cleric warrior. It's been requested that you make your way there at once.
I hope it's worth it.
A similar kind of thing happens over in the Innistralis Inn, called the Inn Ostralis.
Can I leave now?
You wake with a knock at your door. Thank you, Bailey.
Yes, what is it?
There's no reply.
I'll get up and I'll walk over the door and...
As you go to walk over it, you notice there's a letter sitting with the words Knox Ravenbrook, which is your name.
Yes, it is.
On it.
I'll reach down and I'll... Actually, no. First I'm going to open the door and have a look outside.
Yep. No one there.
Shut the door. Is there a window in my room? Or...
There's a window, yeah. You're on the second floor.
Have a quick look outside.
It's morning, probably early, you'd assume. No one that you can see particularly taking any notice or looking up there.
I'll go and have a look at the letter and open it and read it.
As you turn it over, you notice it does have the royal seal of the Innistralian crown on the back of it.
Tear it open and just have a look.
Cool. So inside you see at the very top it reads, "For the eyes of Knox Ravenbrook only. Your duties are required post-haste by the Empire. A matter of dire importance sees the need for one such as yourself to document and assist in a situation that is of great importance. To the crown and to the king himself. A handsome reward as well as empire-wide recognition as lawkeeper to the king himself will be offered upon completion and will surely be a doorway to a better life. Sincerely, the crown."
Where would I need to go if I needed to?
Yeah, so you know where the castle would be, and you know this letter would get you in, so you'd know that.
I'll start getting myself ready, get into my best entertainer's costume, and do up my hair a little bit, and trim the beard, and head out.
Nice.
I'm going to get a few glances at any nobles walking whilst I'm along the way.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure you'll understand why.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
And Sarah, throughout the night you sense it. You're not really sure exactly what the entity is that visits your dreams. He speaks to you in the same kind of darkened tone that you know to be your patron, the powerful being that's worshipped by all of those in your order. He tells you of a terrible ploy by one of the forgotten, a terrible, powerful demon. One whom, if given the chance to resurrect himself, would surely bring a stumbling block to all of your order. He commands you, being the current chosen, to implore your way into offering your services to aid the throne of Innistralis and to combat the evil forces that have come against them. Your patron shows you a vision of the Innistralian princess, the young 18-year-old blonde-haired girl you know to be named Yasmin. She's in chains, a dark and looming figure standing over her. A shadow with red, fiery eyes towers above her, and its deep, dark, hearty laugh. Then a blood-curdling scream, but you notice that it's not the princess that you can see that's screaming, it's you. And you awaken to a jolt in your bed, sweating, as is normally the case when you have one of these nightmares from your patron. And as you get yourself ready for the day, you know that this is something you need to really action as soon as possible. And sorry, I've got my notes in the wrong order.
Did you number the pages?
It's my first day. Okay.
Have you got numbers on the pages?
I've never played D&D before.
I ain't never did.
But you can brag
I don't know what I'm doing.
What's a dice?
What are these doing?
It's a die.
Why do you have to die in this game?
That's it.
No, you have to dice.
Alright, so you all, I
Dice
assume,
with diamond.
make your
All
way
in.
to the castle over time.
Do I get a cool thing?
You do. Find it. Because the baby had these earlier, so it's entirely possible.
We did discuss you being the baby before.
Are out of order. Give me a second.
The baby actually wrote your backstory. You're
You
not.
did.
The baby did.
I'm so goo-goo.
So, Bailey, having already worked as a mercenary on several missions for the Empire throughout Morella, you were the first choice to take the helm of the extraction team to be sent on this covert mission for the Crown. It was you, along with the Emperor's Chief of Military Procedures, that handpicked the team that were chosen for the worrying task at hand. Having already been briefed, you spent the night in the castle chambers and were summoned once news had returned that all the members had been messaged, as you asked. You're met at the door. By a dauntingly large, especially to your gnomish stature, half-orc waiting just outside your door.
Kind of.
The Empire robes revealing the large green hulkish figure to be the familiar to you figure of Calvish Ashbury.
I am grey.
Grey, sorry. Really?
Yes, I said grey.
Oh, I didn't know that. The large greyish hulk of a figure known to be Calvis Ashbury, the warden to the princess, and chef as well. A part butler to the girl who had been kidnapped just 2 days prior. Bailey, describe your character to Matt.
You see, as I come over to the door, you see a gnome hunched over in a wheelchair, arms the same size as his body, rolling up. Is it breakfast time already, mate?
No, not quite.
Well, what are you here for?
Per our earlier conversation, I think you should reconsider your request. Not your request, my request. About taking me on the expedition with
It's
you.
been a long night.
You on about this again, mate?
Yes, I feel personally responsible for the abduction of the princess. I should have done more.
You know what, mate? Alright.
That was a lot easier than I expected.
From our past conversation, what has changed?
You're kind of annoying, and I don't want to say no again.
I see. Well, then count me in. I will not let you down, sir.
Can you make some breakfast now?
I surely can.
Alright.
I will send word to the...
Some bacon and eggies would be good, eh?
Yes, of course, sir.
Bacon ladies. You hear almost like a sense of a really Aussie voice responding, but it fades. Or some bacon and eggs.
I shall let the
It's a
master...
constant across the multiverse.
He is everywhere all at once.
I shall let the master of Hawks know post haste.
Alright. A little bit of bacon and eggies.
So, Knox, as you all approach, the familiar stone castle stands at the highest point within the walled city of Innistralis proper. 7 large keeps protruding from the various points around the main city of the internal 20-foot wall, stone fortress barrier. Rumours that this was a castle of another race before the occupation that had either deserted it or it was wiped out when the Innistralan Empire first landed in Morella some 600 years ago. The formidable structure is considered impenetrable by military means, and the sheer power behind the Empire's magic military keeps out any unwanted magical attacks as well. Though it is impenetrable during a siege, it is freely able to be accessed from within the Innistralan proper during daylight hours, well, as far as the outer courts are concerned. However, you know that your presence is needed within the inner chambers and know exactly where to go to get there. Nox, as you're approaching the, the inner chambers.
On the way, I'd like to sneak into an alleyway and sort of change my appearance and change into a set of fine clothes.
Ah, fantastic. So as you're approaching the, you've come to the inner or the outer sanctum rather, you are met by a couple of guards.
Good morning. I have business inside the castle.
I'm not sorry. Who are you?
Nox Raven Rook, and I'll show them let him the royal seal.
Look at it. Seems legit. I'll send word if you want to make your way in, and they show you in through the main doors.
Thank you. Good day, sirs.
And Sarah, you would know. Your character was Rhea. That's right. Rhea, you would have your normal way of getting into the inner courts you've worked with before. Your contacts within your order, and so you would know how to get in there. And so you were both about the same time met by as you work in the inner courts, the castle's inside shines with a reflection of royalty and wealth. Though most of Innistralis proper is the vision of affluence, the inside of the castle is far above its wealthy exterior. As Innistralis it's as far from the outside of the castle as Innistralis is from Morella. Again, gold and gems adorn every door and window, while priceless paintings hang on every wall. Statuettes of archmages and historical human figures are strewn throughout, with the odd suit of armour that you wonder might be bewitched with magic to fight should the castle ever come under siege. You both arrived around the same time as each other into the main court. You both ushered in, and you're met by a tall, slender-looking man dressed in white and purple ceremonial robes. He notices you there and quickly rushes over and bows a fairly regal-looking bow.
Ah, hello there.
Indeed. I'm assuming that you are two of the ones that are coming today.
There are more of me.
There's one more, actually, that we're waiting on. Sorry. How terribly rude of myself. I am Percival Sainsbury. I am, and he looks about 60 years old, tall, slender, but still looks quite fit. Speaking with a thick accent. And he lets you know, I am the chief of castle staff here. And yes, unfortunately, dire circumstances, a bit hush-hush. But if you'll come with me, I will escort you in. You will be met very soon by the rest of your party. He ushers you through.
I sort of turn to the girl and be like, Ravenbrook, Nox.
Rhea.
Nice to meet you.
Do you want to describe yourselves to each other?
Yeah. I have the appearance of like a tall white male with sort of kind of just me, really. And then like sort of fine clothing.
I am a half elf, so you probably can tell, but I'm also a warlock. I'm not that tall. I am about, how old? I'm not young. I'm
12.
16. Not early access.
So
I look like I have seen a lot. And the stress has taken a toll on probably my appearance. I'm a little bit unkept, don't really care about anything. So I just kind of have that laid back, like, whatever. That's the vibe you're getting.
I carry a few musical instruments on my back as well.
And
I appear to be in my 40s.
as Percival kind of leaves, he shoots you a little bit of a glance, looks you up once and down at your unkept appearance, and is kind of like shrugs and walks out just as the large hulking figure walks in, and he kind of startled from himself. Oh, terribly sorry. I'm Percival Sainsbury, Chief of Staff.
yes.
And he sees your vestments. He says, "Oh, you're the cleric."
Well, it should be obvious, I guess.
Indeed, it's terribly sorry. No offence meant. It's been a long couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Urgent matter. Allow me to escort you into the main chamber.
Okay.
And he walks you in. And as you walk in now, you notice that that both a gnome in a wheelchair is there having a very kind of intense discussion with a
Oh, mate, you don't put pineapple on a pizza. It's just not right.
What is a pizza?
What's a pineapple?
and also a human male who basically just looks at the gnome and says, now, can we get back to it, please? This is dire circumstances.
Right, I'm on it. Yeah, don't worry about me. Laser focused.
This human male that you see, a man named Brackus Ironheart. He's the chief of military operations that you two would know. He speaks with a slight kind of southern British accent, fairly rough sounding, kind of like he smokes too much. He's a little brash and improper a lot of the time. He looks over and says, seems like we've got company. Pete, do you want to introduce yourself as we turn around and see you?
Yes. I'm a muscular, average height gold mane. That is basically in Jason's world a lion folk. Yellow eyes, long, thick, dark red mane. I have 3 braids, one coming down each side and a main one down the back. Black, dark ash fur and white whiskers. I have my vestments on, full armor, my axe at my side, and my holy symbol around my neck, which is a shield shape, has a black diamond in the shape of a flame, set within white opal and a platinum make.
Cool. So Brackus basically turns, walks, kind of gives a nod to you guys to follow, and you wheel along, and I'm assuming you follow. And
Are we all walking together?
yeah, so you guys are walking in. These guys are meeting you.
I kind of just look to my left at him in the wheelchair, and I'm just like, this guy.
You don't know these people, do you?
I don't know anyone here.
No.
Bailey actually looks like a lion. Look at him.
He's not the lion, he's the gnome.
But he looks like one.
Retcon, I'm lying.
Lion folk gnome.
You actually
Gnome and folk.
a beautiful golden man. Look at him.
Yeah, it's true. Especially that episode where we had the light like it was daytime.
Yeah,
And it was just like,
He's the king of Prague Rock. Look at him.
just can't wait to be king. Brackus Ironheart and
So we
makes
know
the
what happened to the
introduction.
princess then.
He looks at you. Hello, thank you for coming. So sorry, I went into Luther then. It's been a while.
Whole
There's
2
yes.
weeks.
What?
Whole 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a whole 2 weeks. No, I mean since I've DM'd. He looks at you. Hello, thank you for making your way here post haste. It's a very dire circumstance indeed, and we've needed to keep it very hush hush. I trust you've not told anyone that you're coming. I hope.
I just made my way when the young lady woke me up at a ridiculous hour of the morning.
You had a lady waking you up? Oh, I
Not
missed
that
out.
kind.
Oh, right.
Well-
What kind then?
I ignore him.
Well, anyway, I'll let Nomi fill you in. Is your name Nomi? We're going with Nomi. We're going with Nomi. Okay.
I'm writing
I'll let
it down.
Nomi fill you in on what's been happening so far.
Alright, so looks like we're all gathered here today.
Is
Got
that
him.
EY?
I assumed IE.
It's double E.
Goiqze. Know me.
You're a millennial or something.
Sounds like he identifies as a few of them actually.
It's Naomi without the A.
Naomi. Nomi.
Alright, we've got a bit of a crisis on our hands here. The princess has gone missing, and we're gonna go look for her.
I believe the word you need to use is abducted.
Same, but different.
No, very different.
Either way, she's not here. We have to find her.
Correct.
You know she was
God,
abducted?
She was.
I'm regretting allowing you on this mission already.
She was spirited away by a portal made by some kind of powerful magic user.
That was going to be my question. Has anyone seen what happened?
Yes.
Did you find the site of the crime? Underneath the princess's bed were runes etched in blood, and there were teleportation magics.
Human blood, no less.
What were you doing under the princess's bed, Magnus?
I am her brother.
Oh, right.
Yes, I don't know what
And you sleep under the bed?
No. But when she went missing, obviously I conducted an investigation.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
And you thought she was just hiding under the bed?
Is it possible she was
A bit more towards you.
tampering with the runes or
Forgive me?
figuring them out for herself?
I did not see any disturbance to the runes. One moment she was in her room, the next moment she was not in there. I am a butler of the house, but I am not her personal servant.
I see.
Yes.
She is quite free-spirited and does not have people attend her.
And Brackus jumps in and goes, and we had one of our high mages, our archmages in fact, check the runes and effectively worked them out to track that it was a teleportation circle, though it apparently the sigils indicated that it led to the Kothra castle, which makes absolutely no sense.
Why would the Kothra attack?
Well, this is the thing, we're not talking about the current Kothra castle. We're talking about an ancient sigil from hundreds of years ago that he had only knowledge of because he knew the archives so well. We're talking the old Kothra castle.
In the wastes.
Are you saying she time traveled?
I don't think the princess was quite that strong a mage herself.
Can you confirm by any chance that there was no sigil under the bed for the last however many years? Does anyone check under there regularly?
Well, it was...
Butler?
Is there a cleaner?
Yes, there is a cleaner regularly, but not quite every day. And it was in blood, and it was fresh blood.
I see.
So there is no chance it could have been there before.
Yes, and we have since sent a scouting party to the Kothra castle. Only one returned of 7.
Well, we would like to talk to them to get to the truth.
Yes.
I think that I found that when you want to know the truth, you shouldn't ask. You shouldn't ask the person that you're wanting the truth about.
Not sure I follow.
I'm not sure if I'll either.
Me neither. I'm sorry. I'm
still
This is
waiting
a
for
bit
my
beyond
bacon
me,
and
to be
eggies.
So are we planning on talking to the one person that came back, or are we...
He's in the. If you do want to talk to him, his name is Bren, B-R-E-N. For those of you taking notes,
Which is yourself, because you
just me, because I just made up the name.
Was it Bren?
Bren, B-R-E-N.
Cool.
He's in the infirmary at the moment. Should be able to manage a few words, I would think. Happy to take you there if you'd like to go straight away, or...
Oh yeah, that would be good. Is there stairs on the way there?
Of course not.
Okay, that's good. I was going to ask you to carry me otherwise, but I guess we're sweet.
Not doing that ever again, I'm sorry.
It was
Not
just-
since last time.
It was great, mate. I don't know what you're talking about. You just need to grow up and move on.
What exactly happens in this castle?
Usually for me, it's waiting and serving. As in regards to him, he is a mercenary of some repute.
And you see me like scratching at like bug infested like beard, like pick one out. and, like
Maine.
Mate.
He's effective and uncouth.
I see. Whereas I am couth but ineffective.
If you insist, sir.
Alright. So, are you guys wanting to... Are you guys wanting to go now?
Well, there's no point wasting time.
This is your helm.
Indeed.
I'm sorry, this feels like it's a bit beyond me. I'm more of an entertainer than an adventurer, but...
Well, naturally, what we're hoping is that we've managed to bring together... in fact, Nomi has selected those here today because of your reputation as...
Except for me, of course. I am but the butler.
he
Indeed,
forced himself on. He's kind of annoying.
You would battle butler by any chance?
Of sorts, yes. I can hit things
Yes.
strongly.
Hit him.
You see me flex, and I'm quite huge.
What are you?
Swallow.
Half orc.
Right.
Like I've got. You can see I'm like 6'6", and like hawkish in stature.
And grey.
So like 3/4 orc.
Yes.
I'm just shy of the big gold man,
Just shy.
I'm an average height.
but stockier.
Let's talk here. So, Brachus, yes, you've been selected for your notable, famous, and infamous talents. And he shows you a quick glance when he says infamous. And
What was that? What is it?
Did we notice? Did we notice?
He said it.
Yeah, I know.
I probably would have.
yeah, no, you probably all did at least notice.
Okay.
He wasn't particularly. He almost nodded as he said it.
I think my passive perception is 9.
You may not have noticed
Mine's
that.
at 13.
We'll find
If
out.
you've got at least not a negative to it, you probably noticed.
Oh, it is 9. I didn't notice.
Yeah, you didn't. No, you did. Yeah, 9. No, you didn't. No.
No.
And
Mine is a negative 1.
yes, and of course, every great rescue attempt made by the castle needs a great lawkeeper to tell the stories.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear tales about my daring adventures or the grant.
Yes, quite. I wanted to ask that I was promised some hefty rewards and even a position.
Indeed. So, what we're asking, what we're hoping, is that you will, as a group, be able to keep this hush-hush but come to hopefully find the princess, bring her back, and a sum of 10,000 gold pieces each will be paid to you from the crown. And of course, positions notably as heroes to the Australian crown. I'm sure such a thing will mean a far better life.
Yeah, but that's only if we live through it.
Well, if
Forgive me, Master. I believe you've lived through many things, and this should not be a problem for you.
Oh, I wasn't talking about me.
Who are you talking about?
Everyone else.
I see. I sidestep a little bit.
And Brachus says, I am a little bit past my prime to be involved in such a rescue attempt, so hopefully my trust in Nomi's choices has been well placed.
I would just like to ask the position of lawkeeper promised upon success of this adventure. That would allow me to access to the archives in the city?
Oh, of course. Absolutely. You would be, in essence, freely given access to most of the archives, yes.
Most?
There are some tomes and things that are specific to the archmages.
And royal diaries, of course.
Indeed. However, beyond that of most members within the castle, definitely.
I see. Well, that sounds good to me. Let's go with it. Can we investigate the room as well? When we're all done, of course.
it may be difficult to keep it hush-hush, as the great philosopher Jagger once said, you can't always get what you want.
Time for me to
You
look up.
wanted,
Just mockery
you wanted
insults.
it. You wanted it.
I asked.
Loss of what?
Well, Brachus, the two gentlemen the two men should be able to show you where you need to go.
Mate, I
to
think
the
he's
infirmary.
taking a stab at you.
I unfortunately have
Yes, me.
to ensure that the loose ends are tied up around this situation. So the castle is yours, besides the restricted areas such as the restricted libraries and things, and then obviously the armories, etc.
Might we investigate the princess's room?
Absolutely, I'm sure that her.
That's the lift for
Absolutely.
for Nomi. No, it's like a thing on the banister for like wheelchair access.
I'm sure that her butler will be able to show you. Anyway, the castle is yours to investigate as you need. Come back and see me. You'll find me around before you leave. I do have a few things that might help you on your way.
Lead the way, butler, sorry.
Well, I do
Takes like damage.
I do wish to show you where the quarters are. The Sir Naomi is in charge of the expedition.
Well, yeah, we'll, yeah, let's go to our room. Yeah, sounds good.
Fantastic. If the esteemed guests would follow me. And I lead them towards the bedroom.
Wait, can you push me?
I keep a couple of paces back.
I would be delighted to, sir.
Oh, thanks, mate.
And I push him.
I'm going to walk up to the lineman and say, Nox, don't believe we've met.
Cade.
Cade, pleasure. I bet they sing songs about you with a face like that.
I hope not.
Roll the flirt.
Roll a sexuality check. No, I'm gay.
It was almost an early one.
Yeah, it was almost.
Just writing down your character names because I actually didn't write them down in my notes.
I've done them.
Bran.
Do you want a hand?
No, Bren. So we've got Nomi, Cade, Rhea,
Did you spell it
Nox,
right?
and
Calvis.
Calvis.
Your Nox, Knox.
Just an N, but yes.
Calvis.
N-O-C-K.
It's alright, I've misspelled everyone else's name.
That's fine. All right, so yeah,
I'm writing songs
What's
down.
my name? What's my name?
Calvis, wasn't it?
Misspelled it. Really misspell it.
so Calvis does lead you to the room. There are no stairs on the way. It's on the same floor.
I would get
in fact-
anyway.
Most of the castle is just one big, large castle. There's not a lot of second-story places that you would need to go to on a general day-to-day basis. There's keeps and things like that up top, and mostly second story is made for offices and for storage and that kind of stuff, as well as upstairs is actually the kitchen and that kind of stuff as well. But yeah, you get there. Outside are two guards. They take a step to stop you and then see who you are, and they step back.
If the party would like to come in, I open the door and usher them in
Cool.
a very butler-like manner. Open the door.
Roll for
Roll a charisma check.
Roll for butler.
Charisma, come on.
Go on, do it. Charisma check.
17.
Place it, yeah. No, he is very butler-esque. He buttles well. And then if he's already buttled, he will rebuttle. And that was bad. I apologise.
But if you were to add...
Slow clap.
The first one is just the original buttle.
It's true. It's just, how can you have a rebuttal if you don't have a buttle? It's true. Okay, so you enter in. It's quite a lovely room. It's probably about 15 feet tall to the ceiling, 30-ish feet across it. It's a square, almost square room, about 30 feet by 30 feet. Huge bed. You can understand why underneath this bed could hold an entire teleportation circle easily. And
For a couple of butlers.
However, exactly.
So I wish to choose.
A butler and a rebuttler.
Yeah.
And but you notice the bed has in fact
Debutler?
been slid, and you can see still, because it hasn't been cleaned in order to be investigated further, there is the remnants of a teleportation circle in blood.
Under the bed.
I go to investigate if there's anything. Well, I want to check if there's anything odd about the blood.
Roll.
Can I give him bardic inspiration?
You can.
Alright. You get an extra D8 to your roll.
Yep. In fact, as you're approaching it, roll perception first.
Perception.
You can use your D8 for anything in the next 10 minutes.
I'll
by
see
the
what
way.
it's like.
Yeah, that's fine.
I probably will use that for this. So that's 8 plus 3, 11.
11. So as you're approaching, you notice that there is a strong smell of sulfur. It smells like you would know this is some sort of demonic version, potentially, of a teleportation circle. Just from the smell, it smells like you fought many things of this nature, and you even recognise that this kind of teleportation circle is an ancient demonic ritual teleportation spell.
Do I have any knowledge from my primary investigation? From my background?
You would have noticed the sulfur, and you probably would have not really been privy to too much of the discussion that happened with the archmages.
I do have Arcana as a... And I have...
Yeah,
I think it's plus 6.
Okay, it's probably something that you felt like you've not really ever seen a teleportation circle drawing blood before.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense to you. It's like, and also you would know that the castle is warded against against unwarranted teleportation. So either the protection spells that are placed on the castle would have been dropped for that moment, or this is something completely different that it's not used to. But in your investigation you've already done, you know there's not really much else to be gained from this room. You onced over everything, and all you can tell is that the princess seemed to have probably been sleeping, because you did see her off at the end of the night, and then just gone in the morning. No signs of struggle, no signs of anything, just blood.
I fill in the group on that information then, as we're looking around the room.
As we've walked in, I just go straight for her bed and I just lay down. I put my feet up. Let me know what you find, guys.
Tell me, does it still smell of princess? Wait, Butler, you know what
Why
princesses
would you
smell
want to
like.
know that?
I do in fact.
By the way
Does it
she
smell
looks, I
princess?
doubt she knows what a princess smells like.
Does this bed still smell of princess?
Oh,
I just shoot him a glance from the bed.
Doesn't care.
she's coming on you.
And this
Roll for seduction now.
and this this teleportation. So, would it affect someone who would be sleeping on top of the bed?
I believe it
Next
would.
minute, I
I
disappear.
believe the circle would affect anyone within the vicinity of the spell's effect.
Really? So
Including
anyone within
bed.
the room?
Anyone inside the circle, I believe. And if you were in bed, then you would have been inside the circle.
Well, I'm still here.
I share with everyone about
The
it,
bed.
realizing that it's probably a demonic thing because of the sulfur. Was there anything that any particular medic or someone who understands blood and things like that
medic-
special about the blood?
Perhaps the Archmage would have consulted
Specialist?
cult specialist and demonologist, but if he could not discern any more than he let on, then I would believe there's much more we could glean from it, unless you can offer some special insight into it.
You said it was human blood, correct?
I was not.
Oh,
I didn't-
I said that.
He said that I wasn't aware of the nature of the blood.
Yeah, it's human.
But it's not, is it?
I'd like to check further into it.
Roll medicine.
21.
Yeah, so you get the blood started to coagulate by now. It's much more dry and sticky, but you managed to place your fingers or claws.
They're fingers, but yeah, they have slight.
So you managed to pull it pull a bit off on your fingers, and you smell, and it definitely smells human to you. It smells like like
The blood itself doesn't smell of sulfur.
the blood does smell of sulfur, but you also get a sense that the blood is human.
Mate, I already
Would it-
told you it was human. I gave it a leak test before. Definitely human.
Would it match
Concerning.
the scent being
Just a little.
being my role and on the line folk, would it match the scent of the princess that's throughout the room?
I would assume that you've never smelled the princess's blood prior to this.
He might have. But the butler has.
It's fine.
Sorry?
Does it smell like the bed?
Now, her blood doesn't smell like. If it is her blood, it would not smell like
How
her
much
bed.
blood is there?
Enough to
do a teleportation.
quite a lot. You would assume that without this causing catastrophic issues, it happened over probably several days of if it's the same person.
So you said you were the last person to see the princess in this room?
I wasn't. I'm not inside this room. Outside the room.
She entered the room of her own accord?
She did.
When was this? Early,
When
late
when does she usually go to bed? What time? Is she on schedule?
Yeah, to some extent. You know that you would know that she has lately been seeing potential suitors, and so she has been going to bed later, generally around 9, 10 o'clock at night. The latest suitor you know to be an Eladrin prince, who has, lately been staying in the castle and was due to actually have seen her the night that she vanished. So the last thing that she saw, she was with
I feel a bed in the
an
bed,
Eladrin
and
prince.
I pull out some pants. I guess that's what these are then, and I toss them, just toss them in the room.
They're blonde. Hairs, did you say?
No pants, boy pants,
Oh,
in
they
her bed.
were there?
Yeah,
Really?
Did the DM say that?
I'm saying it. I'm in the
I'm just
bed.
assuming there's boy
I'm-
pants in there.
Yeah, I'm in the
I
bed.
just make assumptions. No, there were not boy pants in the bed.
Lame.
She's a princess.
And they were like,
Yeah, I boy painted them.
Also, medieval boy pants?
That's
Yeah, right.
That is the princess's stocking.
Yeah.
But She went into her room at 10 p.m. and she was seeing her latest suitor, I believe, Prince of the Eladrin, one of the elven kind.
And you'll note his name is Prince Liba. A-H apostrophe L-I-B-A. Aliba, the Prince of the Eladrin.
Prince Ali, fabulously.
Aliba.
Do you know how long she was seeing this?
She's had many suitors of late. This latest one she has seen for the past, how long? Several weeks, was it?
Who? Sorry?
Prince Eladrin.
No, she only, so she's been meeting with several princes over the past few, like a month or so, because she came of age to be married, and you know a little bit, you've heard rumours of the Empire, or rather the King, specifically his, and actually Prince Yasmin probably would have vented to you about this, about her disdain for him in his kind of older state, worrying about the fact that he's only had a daughter and that there's no man to take over should he die. And so wanting to create some sort of effectively wanting to marry her off for the gain of the empire.
We're in a castle. I think we're figuring out the Aladdin references.
I have not taken this from anywhere. What are you talking about?
No.
I'm like,
Where do you find out?
Eladrin, Aliba,
Yasmin.
you son of a bitch.
and you know that Aliba has a djinn as a... No, he doesn't. No, he does not. I almost did that, and I did not. So yes, you know that she saw Prince Aliba that night, the night before she vanished. And that was the first time that they were together at all.
On the night she disappeared, she was seeing the Prince Aliba of the Eladrin peoples. And that was the first time she saw him. And the last person to see other than myself before she retired for the night.
And where are these princes staying? Good sir?
Yeah.
In the castle.
In the castle?
So he's around?
I believe so.
Have you seen him today?
I do not believe I have. We could ask one of the other staff where he might be staying. I do not deal with the other members of the household.
Who is it that you usually deal with?
The princess and the king.
Princess and the king.
Is it possible there was maybe a jealous suitor that was angry with her?
If there was
And
such...
teleported her away?
If so, I was not
Seems a
privy
bit
to the
strange,
fact.
but-
Especially given the power.
All I can
Meant to
say
be.
is that she was bitter about her predicament where she was being forced to marry.
Well, maybe
So
she
you
could
think
hold...
perhaps it's escape?
Do you think there's any possibility that she could have made this teleportation circle herself?
She's not a practiced mage. She has people watching her all the time. There's no way she would have practiced or learned such information.
Especially using blood magic.
And if she were learning this kind of magic, or any magic per se, I would have known. I am quite adept in the ways of the Eldritch nature.
Are there any windows or balconies in this room, DM? Any carpets?
Any carpet? No, actually, surprisingly, her room is within, kind of more central to the castle, so there is not actually a window or a balcony or anything. It's actually an internal room.
It's a well-fortified room.
She's in the tower.
It actually is.
What's
The tallest tower of the highest keep.
What
The
room is
dragon.
under hers? Is there a room under hers?
No, she's on the ground floor.
Are there any other way? Is there like an ensuite or any other sort of doors or any other way in or out?
I mean, there's an internal, like, ensuite bathroom
I'd
area.
like to go and investigate in there. I've never been inside a princess's bathroom before.
Or it's your first time.
Probably my last, to be honest. But,
Well,
Most mortal men can say the same thing.
yes.
In this
Before they die, I'm sure.
roll investigation.
Very well. 22.
22.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay. So you're looking around and, you're opening
Use this box.
different drawers and things in there. And you notice
What
there's...
do I find?
So,
Are there any trophies I can steal?
well, there's various scented I guess
Perfumes.
soaps, perfumes, those kind of things. You do find, as you're searching, that one of the drawers has a false bottom. And, and it's actually just really easy to lift out. You lift out, and there are some jewels in there. some diamonds, 2 or 3 diamonds, and some other colourful gems.
Has anybody else followed me into the bathroom?
I don't know, has anyone else followed him into the bathroom?
Someone should follow the bard.
I think if anyone would have been me, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not into the bathroom, just standing in the doorway.
Yeah,
being a natural butler.
So he's just keeping an eye on him, I guess.
Can I have a look? I don't want to take any jewels, but I want to like sort of pick them up and show them to him and say, these
They belong to the princess, yes.
I see. None of them look like they could be used for magic. Would I have to do an arcana?
So you know, roll arcana.
Yep, sure. Oh, that's not good. 15.
15. So you do notice as you holding up one of the diamonds, and it does catch a glint of one of the kind of sconces on the wall with fire. That you do see there's actually a little rune etched inside it.
Anyone here familiar with magic apart from me? Or
I am.
would you be able to tell me what this rune?
What does the rune look like?
Yeah. So it would to you it looks like an arcana signal for using the diamond to be some sort of channel for like maybe a focus or something like that. So perhaps used as a clerical magic or something.
Are you still certain that the princess didn't practice magic? Perhaps you didn't know her as well as you thought you did.
Give me a moment.
Friend. Do you know?
Hey, Greg, we've got this rune.
So perhaps something could be used
Just casting
as
message.
either a clerical focus or something like that, like it's being treated.
Is it a religious symbol?
No, it's an arcanic rune.
What do you think?
This is a focus for a spell or a spell casting.
These jewels, you say they're the princess's, yes?
There can be no doubt. No
And
one
this
else
one as
comes to
well?
This room.
This one as well?
Yes, this is hers. This is the casting focus. Is it the princess's?
You get you would guess that yes, it is.
Perhaps you didn't know a princess as well as you thought you did, friend.
I do not know her quite well. She is very secretive. I'm not here
Secretive how?
as royalty is.
Oh, right, yeah.
Remember, I am not her close friend. I am just a butler.
Regarding the Eladrin, as a player of this world, how uncommon are Eladrin?
Pretty uncommon. Eladrin generally, while you know that the Eladrin have
Are they less or more common than a regular elf?
about as common. The Eladrin are kind of on par family-wise with the High Elf crown and that kind of thing.
They intermingle with...
Yeah, the Eladrin are very much, in this kind of sense, the purveyors of magical items, that kind of thing. They create a lot of it. So the elves and the Eladrin work hand in hand as far as religion, magic, creation, and as you all know, elven magic is the only magic that has no downside. It's the only tamed,
pure.
Yeah, the only pure tamed magic.
Reliable.
Reliable, basically. That everything else is kind of fast-tracked to being magical and therefore has sometimes some pretty severe perversions and dire consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the Eladrin have been in trade routes with Australis for as long as you know, but they don't generally intermingle too much.
As I'm looking at this spell focus, I leave the room, and Nox comes with me.
Yes, of course.
Everyone, I know I'm not in charge of the operation here, but I do recommend that we search this quarters, turn it over. What we're looking for is a spell book or slang to write spells in. This is an arcane focus, generally used by spellcasters.
Is there any way to tell who's handled it last?
There is no way that I know of, but what I can tell is that with this kind of focus, there are only 2 kinds of magic users who use it. There is one, the Archmage, who studies feverishly to master their magic.
Bookish types.
And the others are like there are just other magic users who just summon magic at will. And those are the ones that don't need a spell book, and if we don't find anything of that nature here, we know that the princess has innate magic. If we find the book, we know that she's been practicing. Or any kind of...
Can I roll to search the bed? Because
Yeah.
I wrote on it, just like look under the mattress.
You just like
is the
roll
pillow
over, you're like,
case and-
I would like to assist. I'm proficient in investigation.
That's fine. Roll with advantage. Or do you want to roll together or one each?
You can roll with advantage if you like. It's up to you.
15.
Roll again, just to see in case you get a natural 20.
Or fire.
3. No, so 18 altogether.
18? Yeah, so you're looking through the bed and you don't find anything under the pillows or under the blankets, and then you think, well, I may as well, look down the back of the mattress.
Yeah.
And as you reach down the back of the mattress, you do find a book. And as you pull it out, it does look like a tome of some sort.
Bookish type.
Well, I think we found exactly what you're talking
Let me
about.
see that. And I flipped through it. Is it noticeably a spell book?
You read
It is
every
noticeably a
shoulder.
spell book, and it is also, as you would know, noticeably the princess's handwriting.
Okay.
And with little notes next to things.
Do I know what spells are in this book because of my...
Yeah, so they're definitely wizard spells. Looks like she's probably been training to some extent. However, there's also one spell that catches your eye that looks like some sort of healing spell as well. Not so much a healing spell, but possibly quite a high-level spell that she may have been practicing, because there's quite a few handwritten, scribbled notes herself that you would recognise as the Revivify spell.
This is...
Is it advanced?
Yes, and not natural magic that the bookish types can use. This is
I look over. Do I recognise?
Yeah, you recognise it as well.
That's a very difficult spell. It's divine.
it's probably why there's so many iterations of notes. It's not within the wheelhouse of the wizards to command.
So your princess was studying magic?
Looks like so.
You said she was secretive. Could she perhaps be this secretive?
There is no telling, but the evidence would say so.
How
It is a
intently do you flick through the book? Do you just kind of give it a once over, or are you looking through page by page?
Page by page.
Okay, so roll Arcana then. And if you're looking over his shoulder, you can help as well.
I'll assist.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna look around and say, is anyone here proficient in arcane runes and knowledge?
That
Do you have
wouldn't be
Arcana
me.
as a proficiency?
Mine just sort of...
Oh, did we
Yeah.
choose your proficiencies? Yes, we did.
Yep.
Yeah? Yeah?
Come look through this book and help me find something out of the ordinary.
Yep.
Oh. 17.
17. So as you're flicking through...
18.
Okay. As you're flicking through, you're flicking through and you're seeing wizard spells. You're seeing spells that make sense. Some quite simple, even cantrips and things like that don't seem to have any notes next to them, and they're not in the princess's handwriting. They look like they may have already been in this book. But then as you're getting through the ones that are in the princess's handwriting, I almost called you Kindra. Rhea stops you. Rhea places her hand on your hand and stops you. Rhea, you notice that there's a couple of spells in there that are definitely stand out. There's some necromancy spells. There's some spells that you would know to be. You see a spell for dissonant whispers in there. You see some things. It looks like this is an amalgamation of different types of spells, and these are all ones written in her handwriting. Perhaps
In her handwriting.
Yeah, in her handwriting, or in handwriting that all the same he's told you is hers. You probably get the sense that she's possibly been getting wind of a few different spells from different places, maybe within the archives,
Yes, there.
and
Would
dabbling.
I recognise one or two bardish ones? Or?
Yeah, probably. You'd recognise
Dissonant
dissonant whispers. You'd notice if you were looking.
How strange.
So these spells that she's written down there further on in the book, so it's like she's progressed from just touching on magic and she's now getting into the dark things.
Yeah, and there's quite a handful of notes of things like she's made personal notes, ways to say certain spells in certain ways or whatever, and then there's things that are crossed out. Seems to be moments where maybe she's tried something and hasn't worked over and over and over, and she's made notes, cross them out, like maybe she's dabbling and trying different things.
This is not good.
Does this
It's
surprises you completely?
It's not completely. It surprises me that, but I have seen things of this nature. There are multiple disciplines in this book. It's not impossible.
There is a chance that she has done this to herself, either intentional or by mistake. We're going to have to find.
Do you think any of the suit? How long has she been seeing suitors for?
The past month.
Perhaps one of them was a negative influence.
Let's go and see this.
Had the princess's behaviour seemed strange or off lately? More so than usual?
Over the last few days, yes, but you probably put it down to maybe frustration about the princess that she's been forced to see. At least that's what you assume.
At the time, I did not believe there was anything of note. I thought it was just casual teenage frustration, but perhaps it was more.
Now that you think about it, you have also noticed that she has, and this didn't strike you until now, but she's been claiming that she hurt herself a few times and she's had bandages strapped around her wrists for maybe the last 2-3 days.
And she has.
And she said that she hurt herself, cut herself, wasn't anything major. But now you think about it, it kind of makes sense.
It's not impossible that
You rolled a natty 1 on your insight in the past couple of days.
She said she had hurt her wrists, and there were bandages around them, so perhaps they were not accidents, but an act of bloodletting for.
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been pretty good information to have
I think
before,
now
mate.
that
Quick through the book. That's why we didn't have the book before, did we? You didn't find it either.
Oh, mate, I don't do magic, I stab things.
Very help you up.
I can appreciate a man who likes to stab things.
Told you, euphemisms everywhere.
Now I'm going to do it quick and look for any clear markers for conjuration magic.
Conjuration magic.
And I'd like to look through the rest of the jewels.
Yeah, conjuration or transmutation.
So naturally now he's looking through a book. You're looking through the jewels
Yeah.
with no eyes on you whatsoever.
No eyes.
Just keep
9
that in mind if you want. Yeah, 9 passive perception on.
Do not roll below a 9.
So I'll let you,
trying to save
if you wish. There's a couple of blue jewels and a red one in there that look quite expensive.
Any others with runes markings?
No, just this one. Just this one. There are a couple of other diamonds in there as well.
I'm going to eye them a bit while I sort of investigate the rest of there's nothing else of note?
Nothing else.
From my investigation.
No, just those. And so, you notice definitely no, because I know what you're going for, there's definitely no teleportation circle, like teleportation magic in there in particular.
I'm going to call out from the bathroom. Can you see there's no spell relating to teleportation or circles?
Nothing that I can find. I'm going to look for anything demonic in nature, God forbid. God forbid.
Nothing really seems to. It just looks like maybe she's been effectively sneaking down and copying scrolls and that kind of thing. You even see some spells that clearly have been copied in haste and not copied correctly and stuff like that.
And I'm going to, now that I'm thinking, so as I look at the book, I see wizard discipline, sorceress disciplines, bardic and clerical. Do I see any disciplines from when I used to hunt? Do I see any things of magic that possibly a patron would have granted?
No.
I have one other conclusion.
I'm going to put the false thing back in and just sort of longingly look at the jewels, but then push
You're not needing to roll any sort of stealth check for that, okay?
There is another kind of magic that I'm aware of. It is not by study or innate power or powered by gods such as yourselves. It is a dark power where you make a pact with certain entities. From my previous experience before my butler days, I have run into people, creatures that made pacts with these darker entities. And then they did take a toll, they did have costs. And it's the only discipline of magic I have not seen in this book.
Well, at least that's a little bit of good news, right?
He'll get it more bullet Henry.
If that is the case, it is immensely bad. If what you say is true about the demonic nature of the teleportation circle, perhaps she has entreated a demonic entity.
Well, I could smell the sulfur as soon as we walked in.
You're getting more like Henry as well.
Is there anything that you can do
Have a mouthful of chocolate.
Fair enough.
That's the secret. Henry's always got chocolate in it.
Goliath with a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
I feel with the nature of what we've found, the longer we stand here and talk about it,
Wasted time.
it's wasted time. And this poor princess, as much as she may have brought it on herself, she doesn't deserve this. She needs to be taught better. We need to find her.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, we should move on.
Time to embark on a daring rescue.
I do understand the haste with which we want to proceed, but unless we take the time to properly combat and understand the threat, we will end up like the first party that was sent. One man survived.
Which we really do need to speak to.
Yes.
Has he said anything about his encounter yet, or nothing yet?
I did not personally speak to him.
He's only been back for a day.
Right.
He brought you guys know that it was the party was effectively teleported nearby to
By their own means.
by archmages to get there quickly, and then this party or this one gentleman rode on a horse as far as he commandeered a horse and rode as fast as he could. Managed to get back just the day before.
Did
and
they
was
retrieve any
seriously?
bodies?
What's that?
Any bodies that they retrieved from the scouting party, or
No,
just the living
he's the
man?
one who came back, and he was that exhausted that he basically just stumbled in and passed out. He's been in infirmary.
So I can speak and read and write Infernal. Are these ruins in Infernal script? Or
On the thing, they are, yes.
Alright, so good news.
Good news.
In a terrible way.
Oh,
We're
no.
dealing with devils, not the other varieties of fiends.
I ain't never stabbed a devil before.
They have these fiends.
You might not want to unless your blade is made of something special.
So
I clutch my axe.
probably dealing with a devilish entity. Then they
That
are,
would explain the blood, yes.
they're devious beyond all your imaginations.
I'm
Well, I've got
aware.
a pretty good imagination.
I was going to say the same.
At this moment, while you guys are talking, you hear footsteps approaching the doorway, and you hear the guards
And the last to hear
Kind of-
footsteps.
stand. You hear like they basically shuffle out of the way, and in
Footsteps, so
comes
it's not him.
in comes Brackus again, the chief of military.
I quickly shut the door.
I was expecting to have found you in the infirmary by now, but
There was much to discover here.
Yeah, mate, we're going about our business. Don't worry about it.
well, I just want to tell you that I've managed to speak with Brent.
And
Can he speak back to you?
Well, yes.
Oh, that's good. Anything of sense?
Yes.
I've got a passive inside of 17. So
Yeah, no, he seems to be telling the truth. He seems shaken by what he's obviously heard. So, apparently they got eyes on the ancient castle that used to belong to the Kotra. But they were very quickly caught off guard by what Bren described as some sort of cult. And
anything he could give you a description of.
just that they had hounds at their ready, but hounds with devilish red eyes.
And blew fire out of their mouths.
Yes. Exactly. And they ran. Bren was the fastest of them, and the reason he managed to get away was that he left the others behind, really, and ran.
It's fortunate that he did, otherwise we'd have less information.
Well, I've spoken to the king as well, and His Majesty has insisted that you make your way to, if willing, to inspect the castle yourselves. He puts his faith in you as, a cleric of the highest order. Obviously, you would want to see her back, so you
Yes,
will fight
of course.
until your last breath.
Of course I shall. With my mighty forearms.
And we have not seen yet a foe that has
Yes.
bettered our gnome.
Is there anything you can give us to assist?
Yes, I was coming to that, and he pulls out what you know as those of you have seen before. He says, "Here I have a military magic order grant, or MMO as we call it, and a military, you know, as a military magic order retail purchase grant." MMORPG. And he hands
That's
it.
a lot of strange words put in such a funny order, but
Yes.
continue.
He hands it to Nomi. Says, "This will allow you to purchase something on your travels for free on the Empire's dollar from the Imperial Emporium, sorry.
Has dollars.
Which you would know, the Imperial Emporium is the only place in Australis you can buy magic items or pretty much anything military of any kind. It's effectively a large shop that all of the armourers, smiths, everything, within Australis, it's effectively like the Crown has a monopoly on it. They make it, they sell it through...
Would I or any of us visited them before?
In Australis...
Oh, the magic items.
Yeah, possibly. You know that it is a very magically protected place. You would know that it is held by not a shopkeeper per such, but an enchantment that effectively runs the place, called the Shopkeep. And you would have had several dealings with it. A very flamboyant, very out there kind of person.
So just Jason.
Basically me. I didn't want to have to roleplay too much.
I'm going to tie the writ up in my beard so I don't lose it.
Yep. Fair enough.
Smart.
He says,
idea for a song.
and Brachiosaur says,
He has to make up for it with that, for not having legs.
also,
He's got one.
we've
I got legs, they just don't work.
No, that's a lance.
and Elf pops his head out. What?
Is that a lance in your pants? Or you're just happy to see me?
No, it's a lance on my back.
That's his other leg. None of them work.
What happens when you try and move through doorways?
I take it off and put it on my shoulder.
Then he crawls
Not
through
like
the
it.
doorway.
It's quite an effort, but I'll get by.
I'm sure you do.
You've got Marchamp over here to help you.
Marchamp!
He said he had 4 arms, so
Oh, and you said you didn't like Pokemon.
no. He thought of the joke though, so I can't take credit.
Fair enough. So now Brachus also says, and the Archmages have been scouring a few things and managed to, with the information given, managed to do a bit of research in the last day and noticed that apparently the Kothra Castle used to vent its waste into the void. Now you guys know the void is the space between the upper plane, like the planes that you're on, and the Forgotten Realms. So the void is effectively this limbo between two where aberrations and beasts... Aberrations, is that how you say it? Aberrations and things seem to come from. And so he tells you that they vent their waste through a series of pipes and networks that teleport effectively through that. And he does produce you something as, and this, some of the Archmages have...
Pipes of holding. I like it.
Have,
I was thinking teleporting toilets, but
Teddy toilets.
Hoops of holding?
and he produces something, he tells you that basically it's a whistle. And it's something that's able to take you to the...
I'm proficient with whistles, by the way.
There you go. If it's a one-use item that's able to take you to, I guess, the place between the pipes. So you could effectively bypass having to journey to Kothra by either going through the pipes into the Forgotten and through the Forgotten into Kothra Castle. Or at least take the pipes. And he lets you know that it's likely from what they can tell that if you take this whistle, it'll take you to the pipes. If you go up the pipes, you'll probably end up just outside Kothra Castle. If you take the pipes down, it'll be a harder journey.
So you're telling us we might have to go through fossilized poo?
Or if they're... he
In
says-
the void, no less.
Or if they're these cultists and whatever else lies there have actually laid claim to Kothra Castle, perhaps more recent excrement.
I'm not dirtying my myself for that. This
What he lets you know is it's probably likely that if you were to go effectively down and through what small portion of the Forgotten you would need to get there, would be a dangerous journey, but you'd probably have the element of surprise. He starts talking tactics, or if you were to go
The other way.
teleport and go up, you may have a much more full. You basically have to go in the way that the scouts tried to.
So
figure
coming
out.
in the first
so they're
place.
probably already expecting something.
Either go through the front door or through the back door.
So the back door is so it'll take. It's a short time.
Can you
to
shove
go
your
back.
lads through the back door, perhaps?
Not necessarily shorter, harder, but you'll have the element of surprise when you get there. probably.
Shorter and harder.
Right. So it's the only access door.
Yeah, and he does kind of let you know that it's kind of needed that you guys make haste to start on this journey.
And the Crown will pocket anything we wish to purchase from the Imperial Emporium.
They will fund, not pocket.
There's a
difference.
The purchase grant will guarantee you one item from a selected number of rare, all elven items.
Each, or
Unfortunately, no. We really can't spare that much expense.
Not even for the princess.
I'm working on orders from the king.
doesn't value his daughter that much.
However,
Not in front of
there are other things that you may be able to purchase, but I'm sure you'll find something of use. Anyway, I'm sorry, I must employ you. This is a dire...
Let's make haste then.
And please, hush hush. We can't let the general public know that such a thing has happened.
Alright, Naomi, let's do the thing that you've been wanting to do the whole time.
You sure we shouldn't check in with the suitors beforehand? Or perhaps at least ask them to keep an eye on it?
Do you think we have enough information
I'm whispering
now?
to him at the moment.
Oh, I think we just get them.
And as you're whispering, Brachus actually lets you know, because he just happened to overhear you whispering, that Prince Eladrin has since made his way back to...
Interesting.
What inconvenient timing. He was the last person to see the princess alive.
Besides him.
Where did he go?
He's made his way back.
Princess is alive.
They came for a reason, and it's evident that that's not going to happen, so he never will.
Very quickly.
How soon did they leave this morning?
Between you guys arriving here and now,
What coincidental timing.
I believe
Well,
it.
nothing we can do about it, I suppose. If we know where the princess supposedly is, we can always figure out what happened to her afterwards.
Just make haste. Let's go to this emporium and get outfitted.
Right, got the right here, we'll be right.
The rich.
The right.
Yes, the rich.
We're gonna die!
It was like a groan from me when I heard that.
To the house of fun.
So you end up, making your way towards the,
Push me, squire.
yeah, what you know is the Imperial Emporium, even though it's empirical, which makes no sense. The Imperial Emporium,
Why does that make sense?
because they
Makes
don't use
sense.
the empirical measurements here.
What are those?
Imperial measurements.
What are
It's not empirical, that you know. Okay, so you come across the same magical. Outside the puzzle. Yeah, here it is. Okay. the same shop that you've been to before, you know, to be the Imperial Emporium. Not a very elaborate looking shop. It's wealthy looking, but no more wealthy than anywhere else. Outside, there are two guards stationed, a half orc and a smaller half elf as well, standing there. They see you walking, acknowledge those that they've seen before. They recognise at least who you probably are, and don't really make too much of you, but kind of look you up and down a little bit like you're out of place with this party, but okay. Right.
Who's our place?
Raya, which you all look, we've got like elaborate robes here, we've got, you know, well-known fighter, you're part of the entourage of the castle.
I'm in like a butler's suit.
Yeah, a fairly
imagining
well-known.
That white gorilla from Rick and Morty. Except can't walk because his legs are tiny.
Oh, fully.
And his arms literally almost touch the ground.
Yeah, and then of course he has
Me
no
no,
idea
me
who they
sad.
have no idea who you are, and yeah, You look very disheveled compared to the rest of them.
I can see him looking at me strangely, but I'm used to it, and I don't care because I like when people don't know who I am.
Yeah. Cool. They kind of give you a nod and just gesture for you to walk in. So as you walk in, you notice inside it's quite a large store. There seems to be rows and rows of shelves, and all manner of things. There's items hanging on the wall, suits of armor, quite a few weapons and different things, and you see at the counter what looks like a half-elf male placing some gold down, and you see a very interesting looking almost, maybe I'd say 5% translucent looking.
So really white?
No, like you can kind of see through him, but you
my
can't.
colour skin.
Like you can see through him, but you can't. At the same time, kind of opaque. Not opaque, is it?
Opaque is
a bad poker player.
Opaque is the opposite of translucent.
Okay, so almost opaque. Half elf looking.
Half
thing.
elf and half see-through.
Yes, behind the counter.
So you only see silhouette.
5% see-through.
And thank you for your patronage. And he gestures and takes
Would a better word be ethereal? Does he appear ethereal?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
And you see the half elf take a bag of stuff and walks past you kind of hurriedly, and the half elven figure standing behind him looks up and goes, "Oh, new customers."
What was his name last time I was here?
This is the shopkeep.
Shopkeep, it's been too long.
And he's going,
You sold me winged boots and one or two other things not too long ago.
hold on. Nox! And you see him, he vanishes in like a puff and then appears right next to you. Customer!
Wisdom saving throw.
Lion! Wow! And he is very flamboyant. And
Everybody roll sexuality.
to what do I owe the pleasure?
Unfurl from my beard.
Disgusting.
And he looks at you.
Disgusting.
No, me, I was aware you'd be showing up. Is this your entourage, is it?
Oh yeah.
I've been told, hush hush, not really much information uploaded to my database, but seems weird that he said that. And he goes, but seems odd. Although you know basically that so the shopkeeper, it's a magical enchantment that's held within the Imperial Emporium. So
Within the building itself.
the building itself. So he's not actually a person. He is an enchantment that effectively exists. Yeah, an illusion that exists in everyone's mind at the same time that's within the Imperial Emporium.
If I roll a high enough wisdom saving throw, can I make him vanish?
No, this is powerful. And you know that there are multiple around Morella, those that have ventured around Morella, as you would have, and Pete, you would have as well. Mm-hmm. There are several Imperial Emporiums around the place. There's one in the kind of northern city that's been around since the war, and in the Summer Palace as well. The wonderfully built Summer Palace, thanks to our previous game.
I made Cusco's Palace there.
And you know that it is the same.
This is just a
Oh, you should have made that.
This is Kingdom Hearts. This is Kingdom Hearts.
Took over like a mountain area, and then it's like, what do you want to do?
In the
Summer
west.
Palace.
In the west.
Built the Summer
No,
Palace.
that's right. And no, I made a summer palace, a winter one. I made a palace. And
You made a palace for
every seasonal locale.
That's it. And so you know that the Imperial Emporium in each place has technically the same enchantment of the shopkeep. However, those that have been there before would know that
I'm trying to think what Disney
their memory banks or their interchangeable knowledge is only updated with the enchantment between different places once every year. Just a bit of random lore. So the shopkeepers, oh, is that an MMO?
Yeah.
Interesting. This must be an important endeavour you're on.
Or you could say that. Or you couldn't. Who knows? It's hush hush.
We'll just say that we're on a strict time frame.
Oh yeah.
Any haste would be appreciated.
Well, let me see. Wow. Okay, and he kind of scans over it really quickly.
Is the Imperial Emporium, is it government owned?
Yes. You know that.
Is it subsidised?
So you know that the Imperial Emporium, everything here is effectively what happens is everyone that makes just about anything that's going to be sold, it gets sold through the Imperial Emporium when it's in Australis or in any of the major cities. They have literally the monopoly on everything.
Except the underground.
Except for the place your characters probably know maybe exists, but yeah.
The Thunderground.
The Thunderground. And the shopkeeper looks you over this. Looks you over. Stops on you for a bit. Wait here. I'll be back. And vanishes.
Charming fellow, you say?
I'm not quite sure what to think of him.
Yeah, you've not been in here before.
Hello.
So,
Yes.
surprisingly.
Think of it as an it
No,
rather than
I
as
see a him, so I will to not confuse myself. I'll
You might
refer
be
to it
surprised
as him.
later on.
Appears behind you, I mean,
Shopkeep.
sorry. I do have a tendency to do that. It's much cooler.
Indeed.
If you prefer it, and becomes a female human.
I told you not to.
I can be whatever you like. Half elf, full elf, half elf. Comes. You see one pointed ear, one human ear.
My mentor?
How about
Afraid I'm not quite familiar.
a crippled gnome?
We've already got one.
We need two. Then between the two of them, they have a pair of legs.
He has a pair of, kind of has a pair of legs. Anyway, I have a few things if you'd like to make your way to the counter.
That's fantastic.
And gesture to the counter. And says to you, now your MMORPG will grant you one of these things, and he shows you a bag.
Is it? It's not a box with loot inside it.
No, what?
That's early access.
That's early access.
No, these are surprise mechanics.
Hey, just because.
There's just an EA logo out the front.
Yeah, it's literally.
It's runes. They're runes.
It's like
runes.
It's just Imperial Emporium. It's EI.
And apparently you have
That's the EA logo.
a choice to make. Three items.
Subscription.
Three potential items that you maybe of use to you. This one in particular, and picks up looks like a plain and simple cardboard box.
I heard those are really good for hiding in.
I've seen this from the Solid Snake himself.
Indeed, this seemingly ordinary box will make you quite uncannily hidden.
Right? This isn't Final Fantasy. This is Super Smash Brothers now.
Those is, so
They hide in the
Yes.
boxes. That's what this is.
yeah. I told you, man. Throwbacks. Throwbacks. So it will make you almost impossible to be seen, provided you're not moving, of course, because moving the box, well, pretty obvious. If stealth is to your advantage.
Oh my god.
However,
I look at my
As in literally, like, you have advantage on stealth checks? Or
so this would give any creature within the box advantage on stealth checks to move unseen, and when not moving, they get a +10 bonus to stealth in addition to advantage.
Oh.
So
it's like
advantage on
plus-
stealth checks when you're moving, and they get a +10. So you basically get a free cast on whoever's in it, or plus with a trace plus advantage. If they're in it, sitting
I'm
still.
wearing plate armor, so like full plate.
Would be helpful if you were in it. And he looks at you. Otherwise,
Yes, the gnome with a wheelchair can also sneak.
Just on here.
if
I just put it on my shoulder. Yeah.
if whatever hush mission you guys are on is not really the espionage type, and perhaps a more commandeering approach might be up your alley, these might be of interest. And she pulls out 4. They're balls. She starts juggling. She now, as a she,
Yes, we follow.
starts juggling, and then stops. And these are red and white balls.
Oh,
These
You sent me a photo of this earlier.
These are what I'm calling balls of beast control. These red and white balls, they will allow you to effectively
Machamp?
control a beast for a short period of time.
effective.
Very effective, in fact.
On any creature.
Any creature, however, they are each a
Depends
one
how hard
use.
you throw it.
And your MMORPG would allow you 4 of these.
What is the last item on your list?
6, surely. Minimum 6.
Unfortunately, not at your level. Need more badges for that. Pulls out a bag. This rare bag, or this normal bag of rare herbs. Well,
It's a surprise mechanic.
It is. These are said to be from the Feywilds beyond Leohonis itself. Various things. We've managed to test a few of them. This in particular, opens a bag. You would have the whole bag. Pulls out a mushroom. It's red and white. So this red and white mushroom, quite bitter. To the taste, unfortunately. Well, not for me, because I can't taste, nor can I eat.
Give me just a second without nutmeg. It tastes fantastic.
Indeed. However, for some reason, you also, even though it's quite a big mushroom, somehow they're always able to eat it in one whole bite. Weird.
Magic mushrooms, if you will.
Yes, those that have managed, that we have tested this on, consumed them, actually grew quite larger and were much stronger for a period of time.
Yep, you might need it, friend.
As well in this bag, if you so choose.
I would not suggest that he uses it.
Pulls out.
I've seen your mount. It could not handle such stress.
What if I give one to it as well?
Well, you will have 3 in this bag.
Well, that's 2 down.
Also pulls out a flower, a red flower, or orangey red flower. It glows brightly, shedding bright light around it at the moment for about 10 feet. It's quite bright.
I think we're going home. Sorry, Jason. Gotta go.
And you feel an instance of warmth. And
that's exactly the reaction he wants.
Yep. And the shopkeep says, now this strange flower has an odd effect. Those we managed to test it. Well, one of them exploded.
Your test subjects are voluntary, right, shopkeep?
Of course. The Empire would
Insight check.
Got a passive inside of 17, so
11 plus 3, 14.
You get the sense that maybe there wasn't entirely truthful, as do you probably. Says that those that have tested this, though quite volatile, and it does leave quite a tingling sensation in the mouth afterwards. They were able to shoot fire from their hands for a short period of time. Strange. There was one last thing we haven't managed to test yet. Another mushroom. It's quite funky smelling. Be careful. Pulls it out, and it's a smaller, slightly smaller than the other one, but it's green. Only have one of these. Not sure what it does, but we'll throw it in. Your choice. Would you like the bag of rare, weird
bag of many
commodities?
The bag of many herbs.
I mean, I'm more than happy to sell you these other things, so they're not cheap.
I'm going to look at you. I know who you serve. Do you know anything about the flower?
Do I know anything about the flower?
So roll nature.
May I also do that roll?
Yeah. Although you've probably not been. I suppose in your history you probably would have been out there. Yeah. Roll nature as well.
18.
11.
Okay, so you would know it's in.
This is the unknown thing.
Oh, that is. Are you talking about the unknown thing or the
There was a
the
green
fireflower?
mushroom was the unknown
Okay.
thing.
What do you?
Oh, he asked me,
Okay.
so that's all I'm
Fireflower. So you know it is called, or the term that's been given to it is an ignis flower.
Ignis flower.
Ignis flower. And you've heard of it before, and it does seem to match what you've said, that those that eat it seem to be, it excites the portion of the field of magic to do with causing things to ignite, or rather the air to ignite for a short period of time.
I'm just as a player guessing that's dragon breath.
How powerful is that?
It's quite potent, and it is as he said.
Would I have heard stories of any of these items? History?
Yeah, you probably would have. If you roll history, we'll see how much you know.
+1. 16.
So you would know that these flowers effectively are rumored to give you the ability to do something similar
This
anyway.
was over all the items, sorry.
Okay,
Is that okay?
So
Or
the flowers effectively will allow you to do something similar to casting Firebolt, but as a bonus action. So it's quite quick, which it's similar to casting Firebolt and Flame of Fire. Not crazy strong, but quite potent. The mushrooms. You've probably heard tales of these mushrooms that people have come across, especially in your partying circles. These very rare mushrooms that increase your vitality temporarily, and also make you stronger, physically stronger.
Sure, they're not blue.
everywhere?
Physically attacks. So it make you be able to hit harder, weather more damage. Sure, give you a bit more stamina in certain ways as well. That you might have
Would
hit
you
up
say
with.
it increases my stabbing?
However, the green mushroom you've never heard of before. The green one you've never heard of. Maybe it's just a red one that's gone off. You're not sure.
I mean, if that red mushroom is exactly where it says it is, it makes you much bigger proportionally.
How many were there of the red? 3 or 4?
3 of the red, 2 Ignis flowers, and 1 green mushroom.
I'd like to know how many people fit inside the box.
1 at a time.
That's not good. I do believe the mushrooms are a good choice, because if we ever come up to somewhere we're kind of past, I'm pretty sure if I consume one of those mushrooms, I could very much run through a wall.
And I look at myself.
It might be good to approach
could
with stealth
also-
to start with, then when things turn sour.
Unfortunately, if you look over there, we have Metal Man and Wheels.
Yes.
We could-
Professor X can be stealthy sometimes.
We could grab those balls because they said they were demon dogs. We could throw the balls at them, bring them under our control, possibly.
It's not a bad idea either.
Can I do history on hellhounds or
Well, you know that basically.
stories?
On.
Like stories on like the hellhound things he was talking about before?
Yeah, it's
I
kind of
assume
a.
they're hellhounds. Anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of a. At least from what they said, it sounds like what you've heard mention of being these demonic dogs that are in history and things. People haven't seen them.
Devilish dogs.
These are
devilish dogs.
These are balls of beast control. What kinds of creatures do they not work on?
From what we've been able to test, anything that is a beast, specifically. So not.
The unnatural.
Not people.
Not people. Definitely not people.
How about
You create like a weird level.
men.
creatures of more fiendish natures, and by that I mean literally fiends from the abyss?
Depending, I guess. If they're. These tend to not work on particularly sentient beings.
Well, let's not take those.
I agree. Might be a risk they wouldn't work in the situations we might find ourselves in. Are we thinking the mushrooms?
Starting to worry about what you're. Are we safe? Is everything okay?
Oh, yeah, it's all right. Don't
All
worry.
you need to know is that it's in good hands.
You're
Dear
safe.
shopkeep.
That's yet to be seen.
Can anything really hurt you anyway?
I poke it.
Your hand goes through.
I don't think so.
Anyway,
assume
more than happy to facilitate this MMO purchase, and this does also grant you access to purchasing for your own money.
Early access by any chance?
Well, current access right now to purchase anything with your own money as well, beyond the MMO grant of a single item, or in this case, a bag of items if you prefer. But I must implore you, I do have things to attend to, so
The DM.
DM saying,
DM looking at the clock. No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'll take the mushies.
I think that'll be a good purchase. Yeah.
Yes?
do you
Very
have,
well.
on the side, do you have healing health potions?
I have a few that
course.
might be of use, but should you need extra, might be able to stock up for
Well,
the
of
journey.
course you realise that I have healing magic, but
Of course,
That
yes,
gets
I had
exhausted.
realised, yes.
That
yes. I'm going to see.
that gets exhausted enough, especially if I'm going to have to look after you lot.
I'm able to heal a little bit as well, but I'd like to rely on a good potion.
Indeed, of course I have potions, of course. What strength would you need?
The mightiest you have?
For him, of course.
Not for me, for
How much?
Ranger and the Cavalier himself.
Forgive me if I am too rash in asking, but how much do you have to spend?
I have a few hundred gold pieces. I'd be happy to shout you one or two.
I have a little.
I'm fine for now.
I mean, I do have healing potions all the way up to, I guess, a superior strength. They'd be 500 gold per potion. If you want something, if that's within your budget, I have 3 of those currently at my disposal.
I couldn't even afford one at the moment.
How much is a greater healing potion?
Standard price, 250 gold.
I'll take a greater healing potion, please.
Sure. And
The lower level
it
ones.
vanishes and comes back, reappears holding a single superior healing potion. Looks at you as you customarily know that you must place the money on the bench before it can hand it to you. Very well, does the same thing with the thing and takes the gold. At that moment you hear an alarm go off at the door behind you, and you see a child or young boy, maybe 12, 13 years old, has fallen on his back halfway out the door with the pocket to his jacket back inside the emporium, and you see the shopkeep vanish and reappear in the door. Now, Johnny, I've told you before, you can't steal from here. Reaches down and somehow manages to pry the item through the clothing.
Phases through.
And you would know that the Imperial Emporium is magicked in such a way that you literally cannot leave it with any item that you haven't yet purchased. So just a always thought that's a good thing.
Listen to any of you who haven't come through here before, I suppose.
Yes, and Nox learnt that the hard way.
3 times.
How much are your lower level healing potions?
General cost, 50 gold.
I'll get 4, please.
Which is kind of weird, like why you wouldn't just get the greater one, but yeah, sure.
Well, I've come to realise that sometimes getting people who fall prey to heavy swings is sometimes better to have more ability to help more than one person up rather than one once.
Versatility. Very
Yes.
smart.
And sure enough, she vanishes, reappears, this time as a male, because why not, and gives you 4, as you do the same thing. So go ahead and mark 200 gold
Yep.
off. Now, is there anything else?
So, how quickly can you reinforce a suit of armor with adamantine?
Well, that would be a job for the armorers. I mean, it would take generally 7 to maybe 10 days
Do you have any suits here?
of adamantine armor.
Plate or split?
Let me look. Vanishes,
Butler's budget, hey?
Yes.
comes back. I do have one splint mail with adamantine. It's not of elven make.
What make is it?
Dwarven.
What's the downside?
This was said
Very
quite frequently
important.
in Jason's campaign.
Yeah. What's the downside?
I got a horn of Song of Alarm that gave me a horrible taste in my mouth.
Well,
What's down?
from what we can understand is once you don this armor, should you doff it again,
As you would do every night.
you may overnight grow quite unsightly body hair. Rather long, curly,
Oh, no. I was going to just...
and that kind of continues for a while.
By might you mean
Will
definitely?
indefinitely.
No, do you mean definitely?
It will happen, yes.
Okay, national. No.
Just
No,
Unbecoming of a butler of your station.
definitely. I'm well groomed, you see.
Are you under the impression that adamantine armor might be something of use in your endeavours?
It would always come in.
You can
use
see
something
that
like
this
Well,
this
shopkeep, well, I'd hate to belittle your intelligence, but we are purchasing potions for which dangerous endeavours are needed.
Yes, aren't you the chef
And butler.
and the butler?
Yes.
A man of many talents.
Indeed, interesting party. And yes, hi, hello. Aren't you normally taking care of the princess?
Yes, of course. But from time to time I am allowed to take leave. As is my station.
Seems fair. Anyway, business to run, much to do.
And besides, have you seen me? Do you think
You
like
are-
living is all I do?
I certainly hope not. Or if only I could touch you. Just kind of stands there looking like.
What other means of protection can you offer me?
Protection?
That doesn't have a massive downside to it.
Well, that's hardly a massive downside as far as downsides go.
Well, not for me. It is not negotiable.
Protection, not so much, unfortunately. With
Anything else?
I'm afraid not much in your budget.
I have 1,250. That's in my budgets.
You've got more than me. I should have been a butler.
God, you should have.
Perhaps it's not too late.
Or perhaps
I can be your station when you return.
Are you
to your
familiar with
perhaps he has no reason to
a
spend his money.
with a dread helm?
My dread help? No.
So she vanishes and reappears with a helmet that she places on the table. Yes. Waves her hands and kind of like a magic aura effectively comes around and says, feel free to put it on.
I put it on.
Huh, I'm not even worried about the downside, huh?
What's the downside?
Oh no, it's Elven. Don't worry. I just like to freak people out. and you guys see
What's
that. You guys see quite an intense sight. That his eyes flaring bright red. And I want everyone that's looking at him to make a wisdom save.
Almost an anyone.
Got a natty 1,
Okay.
but it's an 8 total.
I used my advantage. I got a 3 and a 2.
Okay. The sight.
Actually, can I?
Actually, I'm a Leon and I have advantage against frightened. Is it fear?
It's
12.
It's yeah. It is frightened. Yeah.
So,
This is why counter charm is useless.
yeah, so that's 20.
Okay, so those that rolled under so 14 or lower, under
Yeah.
15, it is a frightening sight, and you basically want to start backing up. It's quite scary. This is a dread helm. Basically, while you're wearing it, your eyes permanently glow bright red, and anything that can see you has, for the first time, that sees this has to make a wisdom save or become frightened of you. For,
Is it first time only, or
So the first time it sees you, or if it passes a save, it's immune. Becomes frightened of you for up to a minute. Has the effects of frightened, so can't move towards you. Has
Disadvantage of attacks while
disadvantage of attack rolls while you're within line of sight.
Ooh, yeah.
So it freaks out. This is something you said you had 1,500?
1,200.
1,200.
Yes.
Tell you what.
Surely you could give him a discount.
You would not have offered.
I mean, we are
otherwise.
saving.
We're not saving anything.
Saving
We're not doing.
Saving a
Trying to
great
save some
deal.
gold.
trying to save
Some
some.
gold, yes.
We've already spent quite a bit of money.
Well, okay. Tell you what, I'm sure that whatever you're doing for the crown is of great importance, and
Let's do
there
it.
would be a reward, I'm sure, in it for you. I'd be more than happy to relieve you for 1,250, in the hope that should you survive whatever you're doing, you'll return to pay the rest.
How much is the rest?
It was 1,500 total, so you're only short 250 gold. Unless someone wants to front the extra 250 for him.
No, get stuffed.
Unable to now, I'm afraid.
More than fine enough. I will pay it on my return.
Very well, and gestures for you to place it on the table.
I get a quite large bag of hang from my belt.
Whips out his
Just
sack.
just like
Very well, opens it up, looks inside, and a kind of like a beam of light seems to emanate from its eyes to magically count it. Sees it's exactly as said, 1,250.
1,249.
1,250 gold, perfect. Very well. If there's nothing else,
Nope.
I take the helm off.
That
yeah, and the light, his eyes stop, only will stop being frightened.
Quickly before we leave, that item I asked you about last time I was here, any developments? I'm talking about the Song of Power that I've asked him about before.
The what?
The Song of Power that I've asked him about before, if he has any more fragments or if he's found any. He didn't have any last time I was here.
I've heard at least talk of it from one of my other constituents over in the western side of Morella proper.
I see.
Perhaps if you make your way there at some point in the future, they might be able to help you out.
First things first, though.
Indeed. Anyway, thank you very much for your patronage and your time.
Thank you,
the best. All the best on your endeavours, whatever it is you're saving.
Gold. Saving
Yes.
gold. Saving the Empire a lot of gold.
Indeed. Indeed, they do like their gold. Very well.
We've spent a long time here.
We should go.
It's time to make haste.
Yes.
Indeed.
Are we gonna go through the back door or the front door? I'm pretty.
Well, I think we should exit through the front door first, but
No, like when we're attacking,
Yeah.
I prefer the back door personally. Like
should
sneaking
we
up
leave
on
this building first, perhaps?
That would be nice.
Yes, let's
Through the front door if possible.
We exit.
Okay.
Is there a back door?
I mean, there is. Unfortunately, it's up some stairs.
Stairs will forever haunt me.
Levitate.
Wait, didn't you take that?
Throw.
Well, only on yourself. That's right.
Good thing I'm not a dwarf.
Yeah, awakened mind.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is your front. You're the illustrious mercenary. You make the call.
Yeah.
You're the tactical leader here.
I think we, as was mentioned by, who was it that said about the archmages went through that they went through the back door and sorry,
Pipes?
yeah, through the
Yeah, they
pipes.
checked through the pipes. So basically, they knew that this is what used to happen, and they scribed through them. Effectively, took a journey that they couldn't scribe through them all the way because it goes to a different plane. But that going through.
The person said that it would be, we would probably get a surprise. When they were talking about tactics, it would get a surprise if we went through the long way.
Which is the back door.
Yeah, if you went through the back door, effectively went down.
Not so much the long way as more as it's a dangerous way.
Yeah, you went
Yes.
the dangerous way, but you probably would avoid the full frontal onslaught of
Everything coming in
everything
afterwards.
coming in afterwards. But you'd be going through part of the Forgotten to get there. So probably coming up against some rather weird and less than just probably a bunch of cultists.
So Naomi, you're in charge of this operation. I defer to your judgment here. We all do.
As do I.
I'd prefer to go probably the route where we can catch them off guard the most. Though it may be a more treacherous journey, I think the payoff would be worth it in the end.
I agree.
You're thinking the back door.
Yes.
Ah, yes. Well,
Let's do it.
shall I take us to the Archmage then?
Do we have to go to them, or we've just got the whistle, don't we?
You've got the whistle, yeah.
Those will instantly transport us there.
So Brackus gave you a whistle
Oh, yeah, that's right.
that effectively would
Is it like the crossroads between the front door and the back door, basically?
yeah, it's kind of like a void between, imagine pipe coming down, pipe going further, the crap goes through it.
You're the music man. Perhaps you would like to give it a blow.
Who's the plumber?
It's me. It's basically think throwback to the warp whistle from Mario. It's like
I don't know if
you
you're
walk to the pipes because I don't come up with my own stories. So
If you wouldn't mind me blowing the whistle.
How close are we to the armory?
how close are you to the castle?
Are we
How close are
already?
we to my quarters so I can go get the rest of my stuff? Because
yeah, you can go back then.
Just wearing clothes.
Yeah, you can go back then.
Nut bar's already playing the whistle.
No.
Forgive me, I'm return shortly. I must equip myself.
Oh, mate.
So as you
Not be long.
go back, you are stopped by Brachus again, who basically says to you, he's glad he saw you, wanted to get to you before you went, if possible.
Is this the magical whistle?
One of the archmages managed to
that was going to put us
get a strange device for you that
So we
will
bypass
lead you
everything.
to
Is that what you
the
just
Cothra
did?
Castle no matter
We
what,
want to go and get the elements
what
of
plane you're on. It effectively looks like a
So
compass.
we use this and
That will always point
the
towards whichever
grounds.
castle you're thinking of, whether it be in Astralis, the Cothra Castle, Silencia, or
So it's
Leonis.
like a compass.
Basically a compass, but it will, instead of pointing in a direction like north, it will point
Jack
to
Sparrow
wherever
compass.
you want it to go.
A jackpot.
Fantastic.
To one of the 4 castles, whichever one you're thinking of at the time.
Thank you, Brachus.
I might find a place to change
Yep.
into my adventuring costume and assume a different form if I can.
What form?
Just some sort of like generally muscly looking adventurer.
Yeah, what race?
We'll say, I don't know. What's the most feeble race? I don't know. I can't change size.
Moth.
Or anything. What?
No.
Moth?
Moth.
A moth.
A moth.
Just polymorph.
Mothra. The Mothra. Most feeble.
I'll just change it to like, a muscly looking human.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. What were you before? What was your form?
I was human, but I was sort of like, sort of slim and noble looking. I like to be a bit
Okay.
more like broad chest,
Yeah.
sort of mercenary looking,
Buff.
I suppose. Yeah.
Classic
Yeah, fair.
dandelion bud.
Do you do this? Do you do this where any of them can see you?
No, I go into like find a bathroom, change into my clothes, and then change my outfit, and then walk over and just be like, all right, ready?
You see,
look completely different.
Yep. You see a completely different human, buff.
Recognize
walking
the
over-
voice though?
Same voice.
I don't think I can change my voice as a changeling, can I?
I mean, you can put on a different voice as a person.
No, I'm not. I'm just using my same voice.
Yeah, exact same voice. With high enough perception, you would notice it straight away. So,
Boy, who are
yeah,
you?
you've got 17. You said?
I'm me.
In
I don't
insight,
know
yeah.
me.
Passive
You
perception.
don't know yourself?
Passive wisdom
No, that's
is insight. Passive perception is 14.
Passive perception. Yeah,
I'm
you've
gonna
noticed. You've
I'm gonna
noticed.
take out the whistle.
Oh, there you go.
What'd you do with the body, man?
No, that's.
This is.
I'm gonna show him like the band on my back and like it's me. Knox.
How
Mate, what did you eat in there? You got bigger.
One of the mushrooms.
Yeah.
what is
Changeling.
Oh, I should probably give you these because you
Transform it
took the
with-
mushrooms, didn't you? Did I give you the items yet?
no?
No, they haven't.
Okay, so you got a bag. of
I'll hold the
these.
whistle. Someone else take the items. Huh?
You got a bag of these. Hand them around.
Who's
These order in the bag.
Oh, how many were?
Oh, and actually, hold on. The green one's in there. I don't want you to. Oh, no, you can read with the green one, guys. That's easy.
I won't.
He's not gonna get it.
Whenever I return.
Mushroom of might. Matt, you can have a mushroom of might.
Hell yeah!
and you?
I'm gonna keep one for myself.
How did you get the mushrooms?
So 3 mushrooms of might.
each.
So the mushrooms of might. I'll tell you what they
So you
do.
do get to.
Oh, I got Ignis flower. Nice.
Yeah,
That's be handy. I can actually deal damage now.
there you go. So the mushrooms of might, they give you, what is it, 40, did I say?
20.
20 temporary hit points.
And you do an extra D8.
And you do an extra 1d8 of damage
you have a plus.
with physical
Do you
attacks.
gain more speed?
No, you basically become buffer. You get slightly larger, not a bigger size, but you become a little bit larger and you do extra damage and you get extra health. The Ignis Flower allows you to cast Firebolt, sorry.
Yeah. Fireball.
But as a
Don't give the
bonus
ball.
action,
That's very good.
your spellcasting modifier for it would be Intelligence. And
Can I have some of that too?
Yep. And yes, as a bonus action, and it does scale with your level, just like Firebolt.
How long do they last?
What was that?
The might.
The might.
Well,
does
you
not-
still have the hit points.
Well, you've still got the hit points.
Any of the hit points?
The temporary hit points, yeah.
So if you only have
permanent?
one hit point,
If you-
one
if
of
you
the
had
temporaries
one-
left.
Well, no, because you lose temporary hit points first.
Yeah, but if you hadn't taken that much damage,
Yeah, so
and
if
you
you had-
did have a long rest, do they go away over a long rest?
Temporary HP.
Yeah.
Usually,
Yeah. So if you sleep,
Right.
short rest, no, long rest. Yes. And the Ignis Flower, I believe, lasts for
It says 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
Until you get wop wop.
or until you get hit.
Until you
That's
get
right. If you get hit by any damage whatsoever, much like
Get hit, take 0 damage.
Yep.
Would Cade know that if we're going up against fiends, that fire is pretty much pointless?
to some extent, you know that there are certain things that would be resistant to fire. Yes. Not everything would be. not everything that you've fought from the void or that's come out of the Forgotten is necessarily fiendish only in nature. There's other things. Most things that are evil. Because remember, the Forgotten's not just a place where fiends and aberrations come from, but also where people who've dabbled in the dark arts and have been corrupted by it to the point where they've transcended or been removed from this plane.
Voldemorts.
Yeah, or people that you've slain yourself. You believe that if they're people who've dabbled in darkness, that's where you send them. So there's probably spirits and different things there as well as just other beasts. It is a physical realm as well. So
like another world.
Yeah,
thing. Yep.
it's kind of like the typical Underdark kind of esque place. But yeah.
Okay.
Well,
And the strange green mushroom, I don't know if you've read what it does.
No, I didn't.
Don't do it.
You'll find out.
I'll read it when I eat it.
Yeah. I figured I wouldn't have
we'll
to
read
tell
it when
you
like
this.
the demons that we're fighting had just like pull one out and eat it, and we're like, oh, we
Yeah,
should have
fully.
taken that one.
There you go.
Reads it. Walking speed. Oh.
It increases your walking speed by 20%.
It increases the effectiveness of your
If
legs.
it was added percent, then I'm like, well, that works. But if it's a percentage, no.
Increases style.
You
by
could use
20%.
working feet.
It adds feet.
Yeah.
You now have 4 feet that don't work.
Because that's his spine, that's the problem.
Ideally, it adds foot.
Yeah, that's it. Alright, so
Are we ready?
I'm not back yet. When
Are you
I go
back?
yeah, so you do what
I
you
need
need to
to
do.
go back, so-
Yeah.
Probably takes you about
10
the
minutes.
best of what are you doing? You're like donning armor and everything?
Armor.
Yeah. Cool, doing all that probably takes you the best
I
part
put-
of half an
I probably
hour.
would have drawn like a number of other manservants to help me.
Don the armor.
Yeah.
While waiting, I've been just praying
Under
to
bubbles.
Clarussus
Yeah.
to bless our battle.
I'll
coming
be
in.
doing donuts with my wheelie.
And I show back up.
Get it back up, get it on one as well.
Cool. So yeah, about half an hour. You guys are waiting around. You're praying. You're doing wheelies. I don't know. What are you just chilling with
I'm
him?
just chilling.
And sure enough, he comes back.
Yes, ma'am.
Donned in armor.
I rock up in plain armor.
You've rebutted yourself,
Plate.
Yes.
and you're
Full
looking at me and you're like, who are
Yeah,
you?
full plate.
Who's this?
And
It's me.
Who's you?
I take out the whistle.
Oh,
Knox.
Nox. You're different.
Just a little.
Stronger.
Did up my hair for me.
I don't think that's it. And your broadness.
Are we ready?
are you gonna
As much
just
as
blow it
we
out
can
here in
be.
the open, or
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. You have to vanish. Come on.
Perhaps we should do this in a more subtle area in case, when you blow it, it opens up a massive hole to the void, everyone sees and we all panic.
I agree. Your room.
Perfect. Well, anyway, really.
back to where you just came from?
Isn't his room upstairs?
Is it upstairs?
It is.
Let's see. How about...
Right.
What about that alley over there? And I just point to a random alley.
Yep.
An alley inside the
Anywhere
castle.
else besides?
Yep. So you find an alley. It takes about not long. You find an alley that's not really being used.
Should we all hold hands in case we get separated?
If you believe it's necessary.
Alright. Right?
I'll let them hold my elbow.
What is going on?
Doesn't like being touched.
Well,
Okay. Cool. And so this kind of like
I'm so glad I brought this. Worth every second.
for a moment,
No, put it away.
you blow it, and then for a moment it seems like not much happened,
Very, very young.
and you almost feel disappointed, and then you feel like this wind start to pick up, and it
Excuse me.
well, that's a little bit more triumphant than I wanted. It seems to spin around you, and you are taken by this wind that then teleports you, and you feel like you're falling, but not falling at the same time. I want everyone to roll a wisdom save.
Fear. If it's fear. Yeah.
I'm guessing it's magical.
24.
Natural 20.
Shocker.
Oh. 2.
2.
4.
Which
Four?
is 21.
I'm about to go for
14?
myself.
I don't think.
Okay, so everyone but the bard
And the
and Rhea, because she hasn't said what she is yet, except
Yeah.
not in character.
You haven't told us anything.
She did say
Is this
she did say
because
she was more.
Is this because of his
That
helm?
wasn't necessarily-
Or just something else?
No.
All right.
As you fall, so as you fall and everything,
counter
you,
charm more often. Far out.
it's not a charm.
I know, but counter charm is like advantage against frightening and charm.
Oh, it's not frightening.
But I
charm.
have to know that it's coming in order to.
Yeah, so if something's frightening or a charm, I'll let you know. I know you've got counter charm.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you come out of this thing, you're in between in this large room with multiple pipes going up and down. And the two of you, as you land, it's the most disorienting feeling ever, and you both just feel this convulsion to throw up. And you do eventually.
Into the whistle.
through.
Through the whistle.
At which point the whistle itself crumbles.
And there's just
Because of the vomit?
No, you get the feeling that
Acid vomit.
and you
No,
remember
fine.
that they did say
Acid vomit.
remember they did say it's a one-use item
Yeah.
and it crumbles.
So we're stuck here.
I don't know.
How's the terrain look?
So you seem to be in a weird kind of stone.
Henge.
Who the
Oh, no.
builds a Stonehenge? Love it, Tom. Yeah, so you find this. It is stone on the ground and on the ceiling. It's actually quite narrow. Well, not narrow. What's it called? It's quite
Low.
not yeah low. Low. Thank you. It's quite
Not
low.
for me, it's not.
It's quite not high.
Is it on a slope by any chance?
It's not.
It's still palatial for him.
Yeah, it's fine. It's quite smooth, and there's multiple pipes going down, multiple pipes going up. It seems like this may have not been used for a while, or it's not being used right now, luckily.
Just poop.
But yeah, it seems to be also made, like manufactured, made, dug out somewhere. The pipes are yellow and large and clearly put there intentionally.
So they said once we teleported to go up.
They said if you go up, it'll take you effectively directly to the front. Down will take you down into the.
And then we can
Guess we'll go
surprise.
down.
And I've got this nifty device here. I flip out the compass.
Yep.
At all times, this will point us towards the castle. I ran to Bacchus on my way back to arm myself.
Oh, nice.
Handy.
That even works on different planes. Oh, that's a pretty good compass.
We're still frightened.
We weren't frightened.
There was
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
No, it was a wisdom save because of the magical
I
effect
apologise, I
of using
misheard. I thought it was a fright.
using the whistle.
I was like, I vomited because I was frightened. Okay.
No, you vomited because you were disoriented by the magic that was going through your
I
mind.
asked if it was
Thank
frightened because I have advantage against fear.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got confused.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'll tell you if it's a frightened effect for counter charm's sake.
Really? But I have to do counter charm before it happens, is the only thing.
Yeah. So counter charm is. Matt, you can enlighten me on how counter charm works exactly. I'm sure.
Don't play cards.
It's
Just be on the page.
It's this right there.
Counter charm.
As an action, you start performance lasts till the end of your next turn. During that time, you and any creatures within 30 feet of you can hear you. Have advantage in saving throws against being charmed or frightened.
Yeah. So
So
while
basically,
you're-
I have to know it's going to
You
happen.
use it when you know there's something like, okay, this thing could be a bad thing, so I'm going to
I
start.
might
It's
put it on
likely.
like right before you put on the helm, to be honest.
Yeah, so like one of the
actually handy.
that's a good idea because one of the things that was
Well,
like that
I'm
I like
muted now 'cause I
with a
saved.
bard, like you could play your music
24 hours.
and not really explain what's happening so much. Like if you want to play it like that, you effectively start playing your
Whistle.
Either
whistle.
band or and a few other things.
yeah.
but
So you start playing a piece of music and you tell me you counter charm, and if they try and charm you or frighten you.
Okay.
Is it just you or anyone that you choose within a certain
I
location?
think it's you and any creatures within 30 feet of you that can hear you. It doesn't say you can choose.
So
It's just a musical
I would
effect.
assume it's people I choose.
No, if it doesn't say it.
It doesn't say
it's
it.
just anyone within 30
Whatever
feet.
Rules is written.
Yeah. Yep.
So it could help us and also help the enemy.
if they're within
Just make sure we're over here and they're over there.
And you notice as well, the even though you're standing, there's a few pipes around you. The compass is spinning in circles, and you get the essence that these pipes all lead to the same
So they
place.
all lead to the castle, but we need to pick the one that goes down.
And how do we do that?
The one that goes down.
They're big enough
Are
to
they-
jump into.
Okay.
I roll into one.
Yeah, you've got. They're like off.
Oh, he's got his lance.
They're like up.
He's got his
Yeah.
I thought they were just in the floor.
No, they're probably about knee height to like average height people.
I like
So we have to look-
I like
No, do you need
roll over and then just like forward. So
With your holding your wheelchair? Cool. You just see him roll
I use
out.
my wing boots and like fly out and grab it.
And you're going to catch him.
I'm gonna try.
Cool. Roll a deck save.
I don't so. Oh, I've got pluses.
wait, no, I've got my lance on my back.
He's got his laser and he goes to do it. He just dunk across the hole. His lance is holding him there.
How wide's the hole?
Probably about 10.
Enough to fit
About
a
5 foot across.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna like try and like grab him and like pull him back.
You do it. You manage.
Or roll him back up because he's on the wheelchair.
Roll strength.
-1.
Is the strength?
18 minus 1 is 17.
17. I'd say you can definitely lift him up. That's
Yeah.
fine. Because he's little and the wheelchair's not that heavy.
Don't rush him blindly.
Oh, my bad. I just want
You
to.
won't have a happy landing in that case.
I'm going to take a look around. Which one looks like the hole down?
Well, there's pipes going down or
Yeah.
pipes going up. And what you would have noticed as you went in, it was like you were being like pulled through, but you couldn't move through because you were stuck. There's like almost like similar to the feeling that the wind gave you.
It's alright, your legs don't function anyway, so if they got ripped off, you wouldn't notice.
Yeah. And then you get pulled back out of it. It's like being pulled out of like water. It's like, oh, you're back.
Oh, that was a trip.
Which is the one to take?
That one.
Yeah, which ones go? They're all
Don't many.
So there's some going down, like directly like coming out of the ground, and then there's some above coming out of the roof.
There are multiple?
Yeah,
Like
and
roughly
then-
how many can we see like going
5
down?
or 6, and the ones coming out of the roof are directly above the ones going to the ground. So assume, given what these are used for, what comes down continues down.
Are we portaling this stuff?
No. What I mean is you get the
wouldn't be
inclination
surprised if
that
you put it in there,
what
right?
these are used
That's
for.
the puzzle.
They've told you
When we
these are
get to the
used
dungeon.
for
No.
Yeah.
excrement. That it's just
They're affected
effectively
by gravity.
a portal from the upper realm to the void, which you are now in, and then a portal from the void
To the
to the
top
forgotten.
ones, the top ones go into the bottom ones.
Yeah, there's a
They're
gap
directly
between them.
lined up.
So you can go up or you can go down.
Okay, I jump in one.
Oh, we can't go down
Mine.
because if this waste goes,
Winged boots, I'll try and grab
no,
him.
like if the waste goes in from the top and comes down the bottom, that means that that bottom one doesn't go to the castle because while they send the waste back to the castle.
No, what he's told you is that you can go down and get to the castle's one as well.
You just said that the waste goes.
One
from
up
the
will
top.
go
It's
to
direct.
direct to like the front, like outside of near the castle, but
They all shit outside the front of the castle.
that you could go in and make your way into the castle itself, effectively underground.
So it's like going through the sewer to come up
Well, I
inside
guess-
or outside.
Someone's sitting down on the toilet.
We better follow him before he dies.
Let's do it.
No.
I jump in the same hole that
Cool.
Okay.
the lion jumped
To
into.
see if my wing boots will allow me to sort of like fly through or.
Yeah, although as soon as you guys go through, you feel that like you passed through something, and it's that same kind of feeling of falling, being pulled, whatever.
Wait a minute,
not
this is Mario!
literally.
Did you only just get that?
You took a warp whistle to get to an area that had a whole bunch of pipes,
Yellow.
and it takes you straight to the castle. Yes, this is Mario.
We're in a strange underground room. Stone, pipes coming in.
No.
Yep.
Man.
You get okay, and so
I just
We're
realized
from the mushroom.
We're going to
don't realize
encounter
the
some
whole thing was-
tortles in a minute.
What are the Goombas in this?
after what happened for a little while, you each emerge and are falling,
Hammer bro boss.
which you can now use your wing boots for because you're falling. But as you're falling, you see each of you are falling towards effectively along a wall, and it kind of tapers out. And as you all fall, actually, all of you make a dexterity saving throw, just to see who manages to catch their footing, because it's not that far of a drop.
Do I
I
need to
get
if I'm flying?
advantage.
You can fly with your fly,
like
it's
a
fine.
sick jump.
You
You don't need advantage.
How do you have advantage in a wheelchair?
You don't need
Because it's a ramp.
You don't need advantage.
I got a nat
Joe.
20.
Okay, yeah,
He backwards
It's
into it
you
Natural 20!
as he asks for advantage.
Never mind.
you see it, and you see this like ramp of stuff, and as you hit it, it's slippery,
Wait.
and you
How am I gonna
realize
stop.
as you're sliding, you know exactly what it is, and as you slide down, who rolled what for Dex, by the way?
5.
5, 4,
2.
2.
Can I try and catch her?
Yeah, did you roll a dex save?
I did.
What did you roll?
It was a 2.
Okay.
No, sorry, it was a 7.
So we'll say that then. You went to catch her, missed.
Oh.
She's tumbling.
And I'm just
In
like,
fact, you went to catch her, but you were distracted by this guy's going,
As he's able to catch her, can I please, with my through, come tumbling with my full force in between everyone as a bowling ball?
Sure. You're like, cannonball! And as you guys fall down, you like come to a sliding, like sideways stop. And you spray this brown everywhere. And you guys come through, and you realize you guys have landed in some sort of schlop.
Have I
This
or
is-
am I still...
How thick is it? Can I even like move my wheelchair through it?
Well, why don't I show you?
Wait.
Terrain time.
Another
He's just gonna like take a shit on the table like it's this thick.
As I said, another happy landing.
So, can you chuck your camera on?
Yeah.
We're covered in
Alright!
The tripod.
Oh,
That's pretty thick.
So,
That's actually.
does anyone have models?
damn!
Did anyone bring models?
I don't know.
You didn't tell us to.
Oh, yeah, true.
Well, you had a lion,
Yeah, but I didn't get told to bring
but
it.
didn't you?
Right.
I thought he borrowed.
Bear with us, guys. We don't have player models because we didn't think about it.
You didn't think.
I didn't think about it.